All right, welcome back to another episode of Macrodosing. Thank you for joining us again. This episode is brought to you by our presenting sponsor here at Macrodosing, DatChat. DatChat is an awesome new social networking and messaging app that a bunch of us here at Barstool are now using. It gives you the ultimate level of privacy. Now you can message and share with people that you know the way that you normally do. We actually use DatChat here on Macrodosing. We've got a great board set up, or a great group set up on DatChat, where you can come and ask us questions. We're active on there. We're answering questions. We're posting pictures, behind the scenes stuff. And you can message us, and we'll use some of that stuff on the show that we get. I think we use some stuff from the DatChat group today on Macrodosing on the DatChat board. So please sign up for that. Make sure to join up with the Macrodosing group. All of us are on there right now. If you've ever sent a bunch of drunk texts that you regret, you can self-destruct all of them on DatChat, pretend like it never happened. If you send private pictures, DatChat's great because there's no screenshotting. Or if you want to talk about something private with your girlfriends or guy friends, you can use Macrodosing because it is the most private, secure messaging app on the internet. Download DatChat for iPhone and Android right now in the app stores, or you can go to datchat.com/barstool to get more info. Download DatChat for iPhone or Android by going to datchat.com/barstool, or you can go to the iPhone or Android stores right now.
Hey, you know what? I've been in Texas since 2009, dog. I'm going on the record saying this. Texas is like a fake South, dog.
Texas is just
it's like it's not a real. It's not. I don't like, because I went to school in Tennessee. That's the South. Like I've been to Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, some parts of Florida. It feels like the South. Like it don't feel like the South here, dog. Like I don't know.
Appalachian has a different accent too.
Yeah.
Like real. Like Western Virginia, Virginia.
I was listening to Anus the other day, and the way that they say their O's and their U's, like Nick and KB, are totally
listening
different.
to who?
It's a
New Untold Story.
Yeah, it's a podcast we have, and the two guys that are on it are both from Wheeling, West Virginia. And I just kind of realized that their accent is also CMC is out for the season. If you guys didn't catch that,
I just saw that. Yeah. You know what? Actually, the most southern place in the world is the Eastern Shore of Virginia. It does not get more south than that.
What?
It is.
What even is a city there?
It's so southern. Well, Salisbury, Maryland is out there, but then you go down a little bit further. You got like Chincoteague, the island out there.
It's below the Mason-Dixie line.
It is.
I didn't know that until my dudes from Virginia in college. They was like, no, they got some super racist out in Virginia, and I was like, word?
It is. Yeah, there are parts of it that are definitely super racist. But just like the culture out there is very southern. Very rural.
Didn't Virginia fight from the north or no?
No, they were southern. Robert E. Lee, he was the capital of the Confederacy was in Richmond.
Fair, yeah, true. I don't know what I was thinking.
Then it got bombed and it got moved. Am I right about that?
Yeah, it was. I think it was getting moved to Atlanta, and that's when Sherman did his march.
But Maryland was north, though, right? Or am I still wrong?
I believe so.
Maryland was north.
Yeah, okay.
But I think they had a couple divisions that fought for the South. Because
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, like the state flag of Maryland, which if you've ever met anybody from the state of Maryland, it's probably like the first thing that they're probably wearing it at the time. They probably have a grill in their mouth with the state of Maryland on it. It's a northern state, but I think one of the corners of it is like a Civil War Southern battle flag that's on the northern flag.
You know what? So there's a guy from Tennessee in college, and he put the Tennessee state flag up, and this random girl came into the house and was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you have that flag up." Like, it turns out like a lot of people think that it's like a super like racist flag because it's kind of an aggressive flag.
The
Tennessee flag?
The Tennessee state flag has 3 stars on it, which
it kind of looks
Tennessee.
It looks like kind of mad like to an outsider. So anyway, this like
does it?
girl went out.
I think you're thinking of the wrong flag.
No. This girl went on.
Are you thinking of Mississippi? You might be thinking of Mississippi.
No. It's not the Confederate flag. It has nothing to do. So like these girls were taking Instagram photos or whatever, and then online they're like, I can't believe you posted a picture with that flag in the background. So I'm not saying this, but people get that flag and they think that it's like totally like some sort of like, because it's a pretty aggressive flag.
I don't get what you're saying.
I think you just know some dumb people that saw that flag.
I know some super
I think you're making this up.
I know. I don't even think that's like a liberal. I mean,
what is aggressive?
They probably are.
It's a circle with 3 stars in it. I'm I'm confused as to why that would be
that,
viewed as an aggressive flag.
That it kind of does, like, if you look at the flag, it kind of does look
I'm definitely looking at the flag. I'm looking
You're
at the
just
flag
dug
right
in
now.
at this point. He's not gonna.
It sounds like Billy is like the one that's really upset by it.
No, I see that flag.
What is aggressive? I'm like, listen, bro, I'm all for it. If you want to call out racism, let's fucking do it. I'm looking at the flag. I don't get it. It's 3 stars with a circle. It looks like a little happy face almost.
To the untrained eye, some people are like, whoa, like, is that some sort of, like, who has no idea, who's never seen it before?
It looks like they're like, we only fuck
still have
us in 2 other states. The other 47, we don't really care.
Exactly.
But you keep saying it looks like almost, and then you just stop talking about it. You give me an adjective. What about this flag looks aggressive, though?
It kind of almost looks communist.
Oh no! Now Billy's trying to
because of the low amount of stars. No, I'm just saying it looks like a warlike flag. Like, you understand how some flags are like.
It does not. It does not.
You lost me.
You know what I'm saying?
I was with you, bro.
Okay,
I was willing.
You know what? There's some people out there who look at the flag and like, wow, that one brings a little extra heat to the table.
I don't
one
think
of two things happened.
I know
here.
one person, and it's you.
Okay,
Billy
okay,
is either mistaken, and they were looking at either the old Georgia flag or the old Mississippi flag, or he's just totally like, I don't know where this came from.
I don't know. I just think it's like so how my mind works. I look at that flag. Wow, that's badass of a flag, and then like that could be considered a little.
I don't think that's true either. I think the flag stinks. Like,
I think it's sick.
No. It's a solid flag.
No, I don't think it's that great.
It's not a solid flag.
I don't even put it on my top 10.
It looks like a bad guy flag. That's what I'm saying.
That would be a good look. Everybody give their top 3 flags.
State flags or flags in general?
Let's go state flag.
Yeah, state flags.
Flags in general, none of the states are making it.
I've done this, so I've actually sat down and thought about the best state flags. I should blog it at some point, Coley.
I think I might have.
Number 1 is the state of Virginia, because the Virginia state flag has a boob and a murder on it. There's a woman with her breast out standing on top of a dude she just stabbed to death. That's pretty fucking cool. Like, what other state flag has a flag that's rated R? And then number 2, I like Arizona.
I was gonna say that.
Yep.
Arizona's got a great flag. I love Colorado. The Colorado state flag.
That's your top 3. All right, I'm gonna go in no specific order. The New Mexico flag. That's the hometown. That's where I was born. It's got a Zia symbol on it. Cool little sun flag. Also gonna go with the Arizona flag. Fire star with some sun rays. That's cracking. Even though I think that does have what was it? I think I don't want to misrepresent it, but I think it's like Japanese and like sun rays. I think Billy, look at this.
I know
there's like something of I think the kamikazes or something like that. I forget. It was a long time since I've seen it, but and I think actually this is my number 1. The Maryland.
Oh, you're talking about the rising sun?
That's
the rising sun.
Yeah, that looks like Arizona.
No, yeah, it's Arizona flag. I went on to the next flag because I couldn't remember. Yeah, the rising sun has negative connotation, but it still looks fire in this flag. And then the Maryland one, that shit's fire.
Okay,
That's
so
fire.
this is what I was trying to get to. The flag of Tennessee kind of reminds me of the North Korean flag. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, it is red, white, and blue,
and it does have a red.
I don't even know.
stars.
Hold on, Korean flag.
North Korean.
Oh, I mean,
that's quite a
I can
stretch.
toss it.
I can see that. I can see that. All right.
You guys want to know what the most hilarious state flag is? Look up the West Virginia state flag. I don't know what's going on. It looks like it's clip art that's drawn by a 3-year-old. Just absolutely absurd that this is a state flag.
That's real, dog.
That's real. It does remind me of Nick and KB. Like, I think that's actually them on the state flag.
I would say the same about North Dakota.
By far the worst. That is the worst flag in the world.
So, just so for people listening, the West Virginia state flag looks like it was crafted in clip art, like low graphic design, and there's 2 dudes on it. But the thing is, they don't look like old-timey dudes with a little spin. They kind of look like they're in a Thanksgiving picture book.
That's like this is like the verbal meme of like graphic design is my passion.
Yeah.
But for state flag.
Trash flag. Fun fact about the Ohio state flag. it's the only state flag that is not a rectangle.
Yep. Hell yeah.
And they will tell you that.
And they will.
By the way, guys, I made a sketch while we were listening.
Billy, that's good.
That's
Like
not
that?
a mammoth, dude. That's an elephant.
That's
No,
an
dude, that's a
elephant.
mammoth.
You just drew a standard
Dude, you just drew an
Are you
elephant.
kidding
but
me?
that's good.
That is a
That's bigger
that's a,
than
that's a base
hair.
package elephant.
There's a hair
See
all
the
over
elephant?
it.
Yeah. See,
You're gonna
there's
have
hair.
to.
Show
No,
Cole the
You
elephant.
gotta distinguish
Let me see
that
the elephant.
it's woolly.
Yeah, that's
you-
an
are you-
elephant.
Are you just marketing your NFT shit now? I think is that what you're
No,
doing.
Billy just wanted to draw.
Yeah, I mean, other than you trying to draw a hare, which didn't go that well, what makes this more mammoth than elephant in your eyes?
What makes it more of a mammoth than an elephant, Billy?
Why are its eyelashes?
Billy gave him eyelashes?
No, that's the hair going over its eyes. That's all the strokes. I'm not coloring it in. Those are all hairs.
No, I get what you were going for. I don't think it was executed all that well.
Look,
but,
it's
like,
not supposed to be. It's supposed to be surreal. I'm in the NFT game now.
It's just an elephant. But it's a good
I
elephant.
told you as far as NFTs.
I love
I
your
will-
elephant, Billy.
I will not partake in Billy's NFT marketing. Fuck that elephant.
I like it. I like it as far as elephants go.
Shit's
Anyways,
trash. What's the frog up to, bro?
Frog's doing well. Back to the flags.
Fun fact real quick about the Dakotas, North and South Dakota. They were admitted to the Union on November 2nd, 1889. And it was Benjamin Harrison that let him in. And when he signed them into statehood or whatever, he shuffled the papers up right after he signed them so that nobody would ever know which state technically got admitted first, because then they'd always hold that over the other one. Like, oh, North got admitted before the South. So no one will ever know.
Except him.
Except him. He went to his grave with that secret, and only that secret from Benjamin
pretty petty.
Harrison.
He dropped it right before, just to watch the world burn when he didn't have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Wait, wasn't Benjamin Harrison? He was the. No, he wasn't the confirmed bachelor. Which one was that? Which one's the guy that was, had a great friend that lived in his shed for a while?
Oh.
His buddy.
Oh,
sounds like Van Buren.
I don't think it was Van Buren. It's
James Buchanan.
Buchanan. That's
Buchanan.
right.
I knew
That's
it was a
Buchanan.
B.
Yep.
Yeah.
James Buchanan.
Yo,
Live your best
Alaska's
life.
flag is kind of fire though.
Alaska's
Yeah,
the
it's better than
highest.
Hawaii's. Hawaii mailed it in big time.
So Alaska reminds me of I don't know if this might be a little bit before y'all's time, but you remember Top Gun, bro?
Yeah.
It reminds me of Merlin's helmet. You remember Merlin?
Yep.
Huh.
It's Merlin's helmet. I used to love his helmet. Yeah.
All right, so the Hawaii state flag, I agree, it looks kind of mailed in, but that's not the real Hawaii state flag. This is
I know.
This is a state flag that was forced on the people of Hawaii. If you look up the original Hawaiian flag, it's actually, I would say it's top 5.
It has the doesn't have the Rainbow Warrior on it, or am I mistaken?
No, there's no Rainbow Warrior on it, but it's
Oh, it's got. Is it the one with?
got the
Yeah.
oars.
Oh, that's top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
top.
Oh,
Yo,
That's a
Yeah.
great flag.
they need to put that back.
They
Like,
want to. Most
need to.
Most people
This
that
is
grow up
shit.
in Hawaii want this to be their state flag.
this new Hawaii flag is shit.
terrible.
Barbados
Wow, they
just
robbed them.
Barbados just took out the Queen as head of state.
Really?
Yeah, pretty sure it was Barbados.
Yeah, they did. Yep,
Yeah.
you're right.
You know what I love to do is I love to post the Texas state flag. Excuse me. I love to post the Chilean flag, and then label it as being the Texas state flag, and then watch everybody from Texas get real mad at me. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend doing that.
Just in the emojis.
I mean, and people in
I mean-
Texas, they love having, they take their flag very seriously. They put it on everything. Every single, like, if you get a bottle of water in Texas, it's going to have like a Texas flag on it saying this bottle of water was made for the people of Texas. If you go to Dairy Queen, they have like a Texas flag that's incorporated into their logo because this is Dairy Queen in Texas.
I love that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like that for every state though? I feel like,
I'd like it for my state, yeah.
yeah, I just feel like, there are very few things that unite us as a country. And if we're all drinking the same can of Bud Light beer, I think that's a good thing. I don't think you need to especially label it for the people of Texas. Maybe I'm wrong.
Can I make a pitch for New Jersey?
Yeah.
New Jersey, I mean, they didn't go basic bitch. They went beige, fire color, and I like their logo.
It kind of does look a little fire. There's a horse in it.
Yeah, the horse is sick.
It looks like it's a state of horse girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at all these flags, dog, and it's very apparent what's happened here. They didn't involve any artists. Like there's like one or two flags. The original Hawaiian flag, maybe the New Mexico flag, definitely the Maryland flag. But other than that, and maybe the Alaskan flag, there was no artists involved in this shit. Like it was just like dudes sitting around like, yo, what is representative that we think is going on in this state? And they just literally jam-packed so much information into these flags, dog.
Actually, you know what I actually think is the worst state flag?
Massachusetts.
Wait, let me Google that one. That was
terrible.
Not what I was going to say.
That's pretty bad too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. It looks like a state trooper flag.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
What's with the
Terrible.
dude and the sword with the? I'm sure there's a story behind it.
All right, so if you want to talk about one that was very clearly not designed by anybody that's ever done art before. In fact, it was probably just designed at the very last minute because they forgot that they had a flag due that morning. Look up the state of Washington flag.
Yeah.
It's like a weird color green and then just a circle with a grainy ass picture of George Washington. The same one that's on the $1 bill, by the way. It's not even like an original picture. It's just that print, and then it says the seal of the state of Washington, 1889 around it. There's absolutely no creativity brought to this flag.
Dog shit. Oh my god.
How about Nevada? Nevada just missed the memo on centering their logo. Like every logo is centered, and in Nevada, their logo is just top left corner.
I don't hate that.
The New York state flag's pretty.
The Nevada state flag, it looks like there's something missing in it. I don't mind the logo in the top left, but it feels like there should be something in the center or down to the right.
Makes me feel empty.
North Carolina's is so bland too. Like I don't respect state flags that just basically copy the American flag with a twist. You know what I'm saying? Red, white, and blue and stars. Like we just need something totally different. Like show us like some culture that
Well,
that's a state. Like, it's just like
My only counter to that is, and it's not a state, but it's a territory. Puerto Rico's flag is very strong.
let me see that. Puerto.
Arian doesn't watch enough baseball if he has to look up the Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah, you ever seen the Puerto Rican Day Parade?
Man, I'm from the West Coast, man.
Oh, true.
No, it's not strong. It's the same shit.
Stop it.
It's the same shit.
Oh,
It's another rendition of the American flag, which I would assume, and I don't even know Puerto Rican history like that, but I would assume that this was after U.S. occupation.
That would be a fair assumption, but I also would it surprise you if we stole it from them?
No.
you know what else is a pretty cool flag?
Oh, theirs was like a light teal blue originally, which I like better. I like that light teal better.
The Whiskey Rebellion flag's pretty chill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Put that up in like a frat house and just be like, yeah, dude, like what's that flag mean? Oh, it just means we like the booze.
The don't
Whiskey
tread on me
Rebellion?
flag. The don't tread on me flag, the Gadsden flag.
No, I'm talking about the Whiskey Rebellion.
I know, but I'm
Okay.
just saying like that's another one that I feel like has gotten like co-opted somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Because it was, I think, originally a pretty sick flag, like a snake that's just like
you
pissed
can't
off.
put that up anymore.
Yeah, it just
What is the history of that? I see it everywhere during like
It was-
Proud Boy marches and shit like that. What is the history behind
It's
it? I
a
have no idea.
snake cut up into 13 pieces, I think.
No, that's the
a
join or
different
die.
one.
That's the join or die flag. That was I want to say Patrick Henry drawing. One of the
Yeah.
original propagandists.
So
right?
it just means like big government. I mean, now it means like big government, but back in the day it meant like the British don't step on the diamondback rattlesnake. Like you can't oppress us or we will bite you with our venom.
Well, I also like the California flag. Got a
Yeah,
cool bear on
California.
there.
I like South Carolina is very like calming.
Yeah, I like that too. I like Wyoming. I believe Wyoming's the only flag that has a penis on it.
Okay.
It's a buffalo standing upright, and you can see, just like the Bills logo is the only one in the NFL that's got a dick.
Hopefully the Whiskey Rebellion flag has been.
Also, PFT, I didn't blog flags. I tiered state quarters.
State quarters. Okay, got it.
Oh, this
So
reminds me.
It's wide open.
My bad. So this reminds me though, like, so while we're on the topic of copy pasting flag ideas, there was a tweet they came across, and there was this dude who was like super enamored or like just giving all kinds of props to this YouTuber named Mr. Beast, I think his name is.
Oh yeah.
And he recreated Squid Games in real life, except people don't die and shit. Yeah. And so he was like super enamored with how much views it got. And I just found that fucking hilarious. What is y'all's take on that?
Well, I haven't seen the recreation yet, but I saw
It's like
some
20
of the
minutes, you
shots.
should.
I mean, that's pretty cool. The thing is, the Squid Game hype has kind of died down. So, like, if he was able to do it a lot quicker, which is impossible because he had to build the whole set, so I think it would have gotten a little more widespread. Sometimes I don't know the thing.
All right, as 100 million views in like I think
it has
4
more
or 5
views than the
days.
show.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the show's
Yeah, it's like-
pretty widespread. I don't know.
I know.
Sometimes
I'll tell you what's more accessible than Netflix, Billy. YouTube.
Sometimes I don't know if the stuff I know is just internet knowledge and I spend too much time on the internet, or it's like everyone knows.
No, it's the first for sure. It happens to all of us here. 1000%.
Okay, so wait, this guy Mr. Beast, he made Squid Games. He got more views than the original, but people are mad at him because he's bragging about how this is indicative of the new creator economy and how the game has changed and it's easier to and better to do things like he's doing for cheaper and quicker, and showing that that's better than the original Squid Games, that's kind of bullshit because obviously Mr. Beast stuff would not exist without the original Squid Games.
Right.
He's just showing
Not
how
only-
you can game the system a little bit.
Yes, and not only that, he missed the entire point of Squid Games by recreating Squid Games.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, and that's the twist of irony of this whole shit. But even more so, is like views on YouTube, I don't think are necessarily core or equal to views on Netflix, right? Because like if you're watching entire shows versus like a clickbaity video for like 20 minutes, I don't think you can captivate an audience as well. I'm not saying this dude obviously has a huge following, but I just don't think it's equatable. 1, 2, a lot of YouTube's content is either reactionary or it's not like really original content. Like I'm sure there's YouTube creators out there are, but the majority of it's just like reactionary and people fall in love with the character of reacting. And so I don't know. I just found it hilariously ironic that he recreated it and then didn't see the irony in it. But I just want to get y'all's take on it.
You know what? Somebody should do like a famous person reacts to watching Mr. Beast's Squid Game recreation and then get more views on that than Mr. Beast got, and then you can dunk on Mr. Beast and be like, yo, check this out, my grandma watched your bullshit and her video got like 50 million views, so suck my dick.
It reminds me of this. You remember the most liked tweet on Twitter was Ellen's selfie at some award show. Some dude like years later with like 50 followers just says ratio above he's doing the ratio, and it got like hundreds of thousands of likes. That shit is fucking
How
hilarious.
the hell did that thing become the most liked? Like, who the hell even watched those shows?
That was back in it was a long time ago, Billy, where people still liked watching celebrities on TV.
Where Ellen was still a celebrity.
Well, some people.
And
Whoa. Ellen is still a celebrity, bro.
No, I said some people enjoyed watching the Oscars.
No, I was talking to Cullen.
Yeah.
We know you're so anti wokeism, man. You don't like the Oscars, bro. It's so fucking woke.
When, like, who?
Correct.
Anyway,
You nailed it.
I think that Twitter was still a relatively new enough thing where people were like, oh my God, all these celebrities just took a picture and put it on Twitter. That's cool. And now that's like the least cool thing ever to do.
what was the strangest YouTube rabbit hole that you've gone down and found, like the weirdest creator on YouTube?
I mean, I think
Salad fingers.
Salad Fingers?
Comfortably salad. I've never seen anything weirder than that.
Salad fingers.
Oh,
You never
I
saw
think I know
that?
exactly what you're
Yeah,
talking
Salad
about.
Fingers
The
is weird.
The creepy.
That was early viral, like 2007.
This
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
a creator, but I used to be really obsessed with conjoined twins.
Whoa.
That is. I actually went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of like I should have prefaced the question better, but I once found this dude who trained minks how to hunt. And he has all these videos.
The algorithm fed you very easily.
He has all these videos of him with these minks he rescued from fur farms, and he's taught them to hunt rats to like take out like infestations. So you can hire this guy, and he just shows up to your farm, and he releases specially trained minks into your barn. He takes videos.
I love how polite Billy's gotten, because old Billy would have just been like, hey, you guys, I want to talk to you about these cool minks that I found that can hunt. And now he's like, hey, what's something cool that you guys have seen online? It's you're getting manners, Billy. I love it.
Shout out Joseph Carter, the mink man. Minks first, the rat Thunderdome.
Jesus. I've watched a lot of those interrogation videos. I find those fascinating to see how police are able to manipulate people that they bring in for interrogations, and how they kind of get their foot in the door, and how I used to think that it was just impossible to ever confess to something that you didn't actually do, like a murder or something like that. Imagine if you didn't murder somebody, you got arrested, and then you ended up confessing to that murder and signing your name on a piece of paper saying that you did it. I used to always think that was just completely impossible. Like, nobody would ever do that. I know that they make TV shows about it and stuff, but I thought that there was absolutely 0% chance that a real life person who's, like an average IQ would ever allow themselves to do that. Turns out that it happens a lot. It actually does, because they keep you sleep deprived, and they just work on you and work on you and work on you, and they're able to make you think that that's the only way that you're ever going to be able to leave that room.
Do you think cops should be able to lie in interrogations?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Fuck no.
I don't know, because there are probably certain times that they have to be able to lie in order to...
give me an instance.
Like, there are... If you watch Making a Murderer, did you ever watch that show on Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
And they have the kid in there, and they're like, listen, we know you did it. We have, all the evidence. We know you did it. Just tell us, and then we'll, make it lighter on you. And then he's still in prison all these years later.
Well, I think that's the issue of it. The issue is not everybody plays with the same deck of cards. And so to somebody who's very, witty or, intellectually equipped to understand what they're trying to do, they can easily combat it without the fear or even, deal with the fear that they have. But when you're dealing with somebody who has a lower intelligence and they're scared, they're poor, they don't know what's going on, it's easy. You can easily manipulate people into these false accusations. So there's I don't see any benefit in a cop lying and saying we do have, it's just reverse psychology bullshit. Do your investigation. If he gets off, that's your fault.
Yeah,
It's what it is.
I always know that if you're being interrogated for something, it's because they don't have enough information to arrest you for it already, and they're gonna say and do whatever it takes to make you give them that information. But yeah, it's crazy to see people confessing to rapes and murders that they provably were not there for, that they were out of state when it happened, and they'll still confess to being the person that did it because they've been interrogated for so long. Oh, I just got done, by the way, watching the American Crime Story on the Clintons and Monica Lewinsky. Highly recommend. It's awesome. It's really good. It's mostly about Linda Tripp and how she was manipulating Monica into telling her all these things, and then how Clinton was acting towards Monica and driving her crazy. It's a really, really good series. I think it's on FX.
I thought it was HBO.
No, I'm pretty sure it's on FX.
Oh, it is FX.
Yeah.
Isn't it where Beanie Feldstein is Monica Lewinsky? Yeah, I want to watch that.
And they, the FBI traps Monica in a hotel room, and they just keep her there for 12 hours, won't let her call her lawyer. And the FBI really fucked that up. They got lucky that they didn't get charges pressed against them the way that they were treating Monica at the time. And you want to talk about somebody that's made a complete shift. Right now, I think most people are pro Monica.
Oh yeah.
Back then, she was the butt of every joke. It was tough. It was tough being Monica Lewinsky for a real long time.
I think it still is, man. I mean, think about it. Your people know you because you were fallacious with the president. That's a wild. It's funny and shit. But imagine that's your sister or your mother or your cousin. You know what I'm saying? You know her, and all she's known for.
Yeah.
Is that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. No pun intended.
I feel like now though, how many years ago was that? 25?
1990. It happened in like 96,
Or-
and I think that the depossession stuff was in like 98.
Yeah.
Man,
I
a
feel
lot
like
happened in '96.
I mean, I wasn't
23.
alive when all of that happened, but I've grown up being on Monica's side.
Yeah.
She does on Twitter. She gets retweets and likes.
Well, yeah, because she'll always be like,
Like,
name one
she's
thing that
Worth
you
it.
remember about the 90s, and she'll just like quote tweet it with a winking emoji.
Or she'll be like, "What's one piece of career advice that you wish you had?" And it was, "Don't take an internship at the White House."
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think she's in a better place right now, but at the time it was like
How old was she?
20.
Like our age, Bill.
Yeah,
Three?
dude, that's nuts.
That's nuts.
Imagine if Hillary had become president and she had some like young intern dude just eating her out on the Oval Office, in the Oval Office. But yeah,
It would be nowhere near the shitstorm it was. I guarantee.
it would be
Now-
hilarious. It'd be funny.
It
would
would
be
fall
hilarious.
more on Hillary than it ever fell on Bill, for sure.
That's facts. Yeah, that's
Probably.
facts.
Yeah, like she gets caught and then Bill like divorces her. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I can't believe you do this.
I don't get why didn't people blame Bill more? Because he was president and he was like charismatic.
I
It was
think
the most powerful white man in the world. Well, never gonna get blamed.
there
That's
were
true.
there were a couple reasons for it at the time. One, the Republicans overplayed their hand when they went at him with all this stuff because they were doing an investigation about the Whitewater thing, which was a really boring incident to get into involving real estate and stuff. But they were trying to get him for that, and because they knew that he had made some shady deals in the past. And so they were trying to do whatever they could to prosecute him. Then they ended up going towards his personal life, which, yeah, he's a complete and total scumbag with a lot of the stuff that he was doing. But they dragged it out and made him so embarrassed by it that public opinion swung dramatically in favor of Bill Clinton when all this was happening, because the only thing that they had him on was lying about getting a blowjob so that his wife didn't find out. And I think most people in America were like, this feels like it's overkill trying to embarrass him for this affair that he was having. It's very weird. I think it would have played out a little bit differently if it happened today.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was kind of just like a pendulum swinging reaction. And also the people that were in Congress that were going after him, it turns out that like all of them had affairs too.
Like yeah.
And so,
Right.
so Newt Gingrich had affairs. The person who replaced Newt Gingrich in the House of Representatives had to retire after like a day and a half, I think, because
Oh my God.
his own affairs were going to come out. So there was a lot of hypocrisy going around because it's Washington. That's what happens. But it was also a different time and place. Whereas now, if it happened, I think most people would be like, yeah, Bill Clinton is an absolute creep for preying on a 22-year-old, you know?
Oh, I didn't know she was 22.
Something like that. Yeah, she was like right out of college.
You know, speaking of controversy, the Clintons and everything, do we want to call into the Ghislaine Maxwell trial real quick?
Yes.
Just see how it goes?
Thank you for the person who put the number in the DatChat for us,
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't know that federal trials couldn't be televised.
Yeah, so Ghislaine Maxwell is going on trial today. She's been in jail for, I don't know what, the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's one of those trials where no one really knows how deep it's going to get, but everybody suspects that there's some weird shit going on behind the scenes there. We should do an Epstein Maxwell episode.
We've been holding off just because we want to see how this goes. But just we're stating facts right now. The prosecutor on the trial is Cuomo's one second.
Cuomo-sexual?
What's his name? The super tall dude who's in charge of the Russia investigation. Comey's daughter
Okay.
is the prosecutor in the trial. And I don't know.
Comey's such an emo guy.
Yeah.
He's become like a real deep in his... He's been down bad for the last like 4 years.
I haven't really heard from him in a while.
He's just he pops up occasionally to post a picture of him like standing out in the middle of a sunflower seed looking at the sky. He's like, sometimes it's important to remember your perspective. It's like, damn, dude, down bad, big time.
I needed that.
Yeah, thank you, Comey. So yeah, Billy, call into it.
All right.
The Ghislaine
And actually,
Maxwell trial.
the number so our listeners know. So if
Hold
they wanna
on.
listen.
When you say call in, what is this doing?
I don't know.
Are they
I
taking
think,
requests?
Request a song.
No, you can.
I think you just listen in.
You can listen to the audio.
So it's
So it's like a podcast version of a trial.
Don't call in. Don't call in.
Well,
I
we
want to see what's going
just-
on.
What if the number's fake?
Caller number 9 gets a free T-shirt.
So the number is 844-291-6362, and the access code is 2921822. This is public domain.
78% sure it's gonna be busy.
You sure about
Well,
that?
if you think they just let everyone in.
Yeah, it's like an open line, so it's the way that you can,
Oh,
you can
okay.
observe
Well,
the show.
shit. All right, cool. Let's see what they're talking about.
Imagine if we just come in to the thing and it's just like.
You're like, would you like to speak,
ridiculous.
Ridge Lane?
Macrodosing, thank you for calling. This is Judge.
People would listen to the fuck out of this episode.
What? Be fired. Are you calling?
Yep.
Thank you for calling. For English, please press 1 now. Para
Like how
español,
Billy lowers the mic instead of picks up his phone.
This call may be recorded for quality assurance.
I put it on my computer.
Please hold for the next available associate.
Did you?
Associate.
Hello. Hello, thank you so much for calling the Toyota Takata recall team. My name is Jagori, and I'll be more than happy to assist you today.
Wait.
You're such a pussy. You didn't answer.
What are you watching on your
What's
computer?
that
Are you watching the
noise?
Mini Hunter? Billy's calling. Billy's calling a
Why are you-
Toyota rebate
Wait,
center.
that was a
watching Mini
Toyota.
Hunter on YouTube.
That was a Toyota rebate center number. I got that number off.
Is it Toyotathon at least?
It's December to remember.
Toyotathon's coming up.
You should have just talked about it. This isn't the trial.
Wait, no.
This is really indicative of Billy's
No,
fact-checking
guys,
ability because like somebody posted the phone number on our group DatChat.
No, that's
Billy-
not the
and Billy
number I
was like,
used.
This is now it's public domain.
No,
I
guys.
looked
Why
up,
didn't
anyone
you
can
use
call
that
it.
number?
I did. I used the number from justice.gov.
No, use the number from the DatChat.
No, this is from the. Click on that link and
I'm
find the
looking.
number. Go to. It's right halfway through. This is actually really weird. That's the actual number, guys.
No, it's not.
Go to April 20th, 2021 update.
It's
In April.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, but that's the only number posted.
No, there's not. There's a
No, it's
recent
not.
one.
There's other phone numbers.
October 20th, 844-721-7237. Call that one.
dude.
I'm more confused as to how the Toyota Rebate Center was using the same phone number as the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York.
Listen, how deep does this rabbit hole go? We're asking the wrong questions here.
Maybe Toyotathon has something to do with it.
Billy, call the other number.
Those deals are surprisingly low.
Okay, wait.
I always knew there was something up. It's like the,
That's something I never understood, dog. It's just car places, car lots in general. Like, are people buying cars like that, dog? Like, how are they invented? Like, do people really like just buying cars like that?
people just
Niggas
show
out
up.
just buying Toyota.
They just walk onto a lot. They see a tent. People see balloons and they walk onto a car lot. That's how it works. I used to sell used cars, and whenever we ran out of balloons, we'd be like, "Fuck, we better get our balloon stock back up because people won't walk in anymore." People are dumb. They just see a balloon. They're like, "Yeah, that's where I need to be right now."
Because like, everybody I know like has a car for like 10 years, give or take, 3 or 5 here. But it's like there's a lot of cars on car lots, dog. Like, who's buying these cars?
Well, that's why they have so many sales, because they're trying to move merchandise before the next years come out.
That's unfortunate, man.
Toyota's like the new Wayfair scandal. Like, there's a girl named Corolla in the trunk of this one. $16,000.
Oh, I think we're in.
I'm putting.
Well, now he has the access code from April, too.
No, I'm using the.
Billy's over there like
I am.
like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible on his laptop trying to hack into a mainframe. You got this, bro. Uh-oh.
I'm literally using the one from October 20th.
Yeah, well, there was another update. I don't know why. Beyond the live feeds within the courthouse, the trial will not be further broadcast, nor will there be any telephone dial-in to the proceedings. November 29th, 2021.
Literally today.
The top of the page.
bullshit.
All right, so that was our check-in on the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. I think, you know, the content really speaks for itself.
Well, the thing is, they're not allowing any coverage.
Yes, I'm aware of that now.
Media-wise.
Yeah.
And David,
I wonder why. What are they trying to hide?
you know what?
They didn't want football on the case.
I was so close to crack the case.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you televise federal trials? What's the rule behind that? Is it just like a rule?
Yeah,
That's
I
not nice.
understand that rule.
But what's
I
like?
think it's supposed to be like there's a decorum about federal courts that like they don't want it turning into a media circus.
I agree 1,000%.
Yeah, if it's a federal trial, you don't want to have like.
I don't think we should televise any trials.
No.
Because it just you people. What I've noticed about the cameras, like I've been in front of the camera for the better part of my life, right? Because of football. People that aren't used to being in front of cameras, they change. Their demeanor changes, their responses changes, like everything changes. And when you know you're being filmed, like it's just a different animal. And something with like that much levity to it, there's just no point. There's no plus. The media coverage of it would be wild. Speculations. That was one thing I learned about researching the Michael Jackson allegations, because he's innocent. Was that the media spin cycle was the monster behind that whole machine. There was a news channel, I forget which one it was, but there was a news channel that had 24-hour coverage of a Michael Jackson case. And the lawyers go to sleep. When they're sleeping, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like it's insanity. There's no plus side in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. It's like the justice system and our politics in general have become severely affected by the 24-hour news cycle to the point where it just sucks now. Everything sucks about the news. Right, Big T?
The fake news.
Should we have a trial?
I think we should have a trial.
Before we get into Mother Teresa, let me tell you, my body has been sore lately. I've been working out, getting delayed onset muscle soreness, and I've been getting older, so with age, it's been getting worse. I feel like as I get older, everything is more sore. I just don't recover like I used to. If there's anything I learned in the past year, it's that you need to treat yourself and keep your body feeling good. Are you getting pain from working out? Well, I recommend Home Medics. You got to check out Home Medics. They've got a whole line of massage products, from a massage gun with built-in hot and cold technology to a massage cushion that lets you lie down or sit up depending on your therapeutic needs, to a 3-in-1 foot massager with vibration so powerful it loosens the muscles in your legs and lower back. Moral of the story, Home Medics has a massager that addresses your pain points from head to toe. In my experience, I tried their 3-in-1 foot massager, and it is exactly what you need after a long day of on your feet. It's awesome. The company is amazing. It was founded in 1987. A Detroit family founded Home Medics to make sure that people's lives were better. Today, they've established as leaders in wellness and home health innovations backed by traditional wisdom and modern technology. Plus, they have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so they are a brand you can rely on. Join the millions of customers who trust the Home Medics family to take care of theirs. They sent me their 3-in-1 foot massager, and I love it. I literally use it every day. I basically wake up, get on the computer, and I start using my foot massager. It's a great way to get up and at 'em, as well as when you come back late at night and your feet are sore. It's great. Whether you're dealing with chronic pain or just looking to help your muscles recover from a workout, we've got good news. Right now, if you go to homemedics.com/dose and use the promo code DOSE, you'll receive a free portable phone sanitizer when you buy $100 or more in massage products. That's a $60 value. That's homedics.com/dose and use promo code DOSE for your free portable phone sanitizer with a $100 massager purchase.
Good segue, Billy.
What a fucking segue.
Great segue.
What a
Hey.
fucking segue.
I think.
Yeah, I give credit where credit's due. That was solid.
Hear
was
ye,
good.
hear ye. The court of macrodosing is now in session. The case being presented today is the people versus Mother Teresa. So Mother Teresa, she is a saint. She's literally a saint.
Canonized. Catholic Church.
Bullshit.
Is that makes her a saint, right?
Yeah,
you
she's
get canonized, you're
by the
officially a
Catholic
saint.
Church.
Mother Teresa is officially a saint. She's been canonized by the Catholic Church. She ran an orphanage and tuberculosis clinic in India for what, like 50 years?
Very accomplished in her missionary work as well as helping out the poor, especially in the city of Calcutta. Was apparently committed 2 miracles by allegedly helping
Talk
two
about like it's
individuals.
Grand Theft Auto. Committed. She's got 2 miracles under her belt.
Well,
The Russian titles.
That's
Like the
part.
Russian titles.
2-time widower.
2-time winner of the year.
That's part of becoming a If you don't know, becoming
Yeah.
becoming Catholic saint, you have to have 2 miracles accredited to your name.
Now they definitely look for miracles. If
Oh,
you're somebody
they're
like Mother
reaching.
Teresa, they were like, give me an excuse to make her a saint.
Yeah.
You know, like anything that happened.
The moment she died, whoever, I think it was Pope Benedict when she died, was dying to get her sainthood.
Yeah, because if you're the Pope, that's something that you can actually like hang your hat on as an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Being like, I was the guy that got this pushed through.
Yeah, now
So-
Pope Benedict's like in a castle and
You were just like
or
putting
Italy
out the
somewhere.
word, like anybody, just tell me if you think that you saw Mother Teresa in your toilet, let me know.
It's like the thing we just looked up with the Ghislaine trial. It's like if you think you're a victim of Ghislaine Maxwell, call in. If you think you're a miracle worker from Mother Teresa,
No,
call
so
in.
so if you were being canonized one day, what do you think 2 things could be miracles attributed to you? Big T. When you become Saint T.
Have I done any miracles?
I mean, if you had died like 2 months ago, the Braves winning a World Series would be right up there.
He doesn't have to die to commit a miracle. The
Wait,
Braves
why
winning.
would? Why
Wait,
would,
you can get miracles.
Yeah, you
while
can get
you're still
miracles in
alive?
real
Oh.
life.
Yeah, yeah,
or
no.
while
Oh,
you're
yeah.
alive.
So
she had live miracles, bro.
yeah, so
Like if how Jesus made blind people see, that's a miracle.
miracles and
attributed to him.
beatification. Beatification. Okay. Beatification. Anyway, so one of them was that there was a woman with a tumor who prayed to Mother Teresa and claimed that the tumor disappeared because of her prayer to Mother Teresa and Mother Teresa blessing her. And then the second was a man with a brain tumor who also prayed to Mother Teresa, and Mother Teresa eradicated the tumor.
Now, there was the husband of one of those people, the tumor person.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in the trial. According to the woman, a beam of light emanated from the picture of Mother Teresa, and her cancerous tumor was cured. Anyway, okay, so she's also a Nobel Prize winner. Nobel Peace Prize winner.
I as well am a Nobel Prize winner.
Nobel.
There's Nobel, yeah.
Nobel.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's-
You know what?
that's
Don't
one
make
of the
fun of Billy.
ones.
Don't make fun of Billy for mispronouncing words like that, because it shows you that he learned the words by reading them,
Yes.
not by hearing other people say them.
So I don't hang out with people who talk about Nobel Peace Prizes.
but he does reading.
we know.
He does reading, which is more important.
Anyway, yeah, so she refused the conventional ceremonial banquet for the Nobel Peace Prize. Nobel asking that its $192,000 cost be given to the poor in India.
Mhm.
She raised millions of dollars for
So she gave away all that money that she never had.
right.
Okay, got it.
So she did tons of work, and so why don't we give a little background. She was born in Albania. She went to seek a life of religion in Ireland, and then subsequently found herself in India, where she helped the poor and established multiple clinics in order to help clinically ill people.
Yeah, I think that she's probably the most famous nun that I grew up knowing about. I can't name a more famous nun besides Whoopi Goldberg and Sister Act than Mother Teresa. She was, anytime you needed somebody, like a reference on The Tonight Show or Good Morning America or anything like that, to talk about somebody who was really good, like a perfect person, you'd be like, well, they're no Mother Teresa. You know, that was always drilled into you growing up. At least for me it was, just through all the media. So I just always assumed that she was a wonderful person, or at least she had a great PR team. So when she set up these clinics in India, she did so, it was part of a missionary trip. So she was doing it in the service of the was it the Christian or the Catholic Church? She went over to India to set up this missionary, to do her missionary work under the service of the Catholic Church. So it's interesting because it does call into question You know, nobody really does anything just to be a good person. I don't think that there's always like some underlying motivation, right?
So
That's what we're going to get into a little bit today.
shall we start the trial?
Yeah, let's put this bitch on trial. I have no
Saint.
dog. I have no
Saint.
dog in this fight. Saint Teresa, Saint Mother. I have no dog in this fight. I'm going to look at myself as being impartial, like on the jury.
Are you the judge and jury? Let's just make you the judge. Actually, you're the judge
Okay.
and
I'll be prosecutor.
prosecutor. I'll be defense.
Well,
Avery,
Big T wants to prosecute too.
Avery and Mad
this
Dog
bitch is
will be the
loaded.
jury. Coley, do you want to hop on the defense with me?
For sure not.
I'm defending for sport, not out of real belief.
Well, this was your idea to do, and you immediately said, "I want to defend her."
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
knew that
you-
you guys. I was volunteering to
You
be
couldn't
defense.
have
I know
jumped on it more quickly.
but you guys were coming for the you wanted her head.
Afterwards,
Cause she's shit. What do you
Well,
mean?
so
wait,
someone's
wait,
gotta-
wait. Order.
Yeah.
I
There will
can
be order in my courtroom.
Billy, if you
I'll
need
be
me, I grew up
I'll be the
going to
bailiff.
Catholic school and was a big fan.
Do you want
I
to be?
can help.
Do you want to be another jury with Avery?
I can be that or the bailiff. I mean,
You don't want
either.
Coley on your jersey or on your jury because he's like obviously going to convict. Like you, he's going to be the bailiff. Mad Dog, you
I
be
mean, I'll
on,
hear it out. I'll hear it out.
you be on the defense.
Yeah, I know a
with
lot about
Billy.
her.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going back through the text messages here because this is how it started. Topic that was from Billy. PFT says Mother Teresa because we've discussed it before. It was not my idea. It was brought up earlier. Coley says Mother Teresa's time is up. Billy says, should we have a trial of Mother Teresa? I can be the defense. I say, sure. Mad Dog says, I feel like Big T should also defend.
yeah, I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah, and I said if Big T wants to defend, he can. Let's see where he falls naturally. And then Big T says, I don't know who this is. I'll look into it and see.
I knew
Seems like
the
a
name.
fraud. Oh, yeah, this bitch is a fraud.
I knew the name. I didn't know anything about her. Then I did some cursory research and found out, yeah, she's loaded for
I
sure.
saw the research before, and I was just saying like I'll argue the defense because no one else is going to want to. So I'll do
I
it.
think there are a lot of people that would probably defend Mother Teresa. Like I said, she is synonymous
A lot of sheep.
with being
Millions.
a wonderful human being. Whenever you hear somebody talk about Mother Teresa, you automatically think of somebody who's selfless, who gives their life for others. It's almost universally a good thing to be called a Mother Teresa, but that might change after today. All right, let's get this trial started. Who starts with the argument? I think prosecution starts with your opening statement, right?
Judge, I appreciate you allowing me in your courtroom today. Jury, people of the court. The people do not believe that Mother Teresa was as good as marketed on several different accounts, with intent and with no intentions. The people believe that she may have had good intentions at times, but also we find her hypocrisy, her self-admitted hypocrisy, admissible as malintent. We'll explain further, but as of right now, we want to, as the defense wants to exonerate her of these charges, we want to label this woman as a piece of shit rather than a saint.
Okay. I love how Arian introduced it by saying, you know what? It's not me making this argument. It's Mother Teresa that made the argument about herself. That's powerful. That's very powerful stuff.
I put on my lawyer glasses today
That
as
was-
well.
that
Like, I
was-
don't know if that was good move.
That was really good.
the defense would like.
You don't have to talk like a lawyer if you don't want to, by
No,
the way.
come on, can we, just,
Okay.
can we have some fun?
Yeah, let's have, okay, my mistake. Reset. Order.
Come on, let's do a trial.
fucking dad was trying to make Jesus.
You don't have
bro.
to speak like a lawyer.
I accept
Let me
bribes, by the way.
fucking- Okay. The defense would like to define what good is advertised means.
Is that a
That's
request?
not how an opening
This
statement.
is your opening. This is your opening
I
statement.
thought we're deciding what we're trying her for.
No, this is
All
the
right,
opening
fuck it. Let's do
statement.
it.
Okay, so wait. Billy wants me to say what good as advertised means?
Yeah.
It means, is Mother Teresa all she's cracked up to be?
Is she worthy of her sainthood, or was she just like a halfway decent broad sometimes?
Yeah, is she overrated?
Was she a net benefit?
That's really what we're talking about.
That,
is
I
is
think
she
that,
overrated?
I think that
Or like worthy of
that,
sainthood.
I think Billy, you nailed it.
Net benefit?
Yes. What was her net benefit, positive or negative? I would like that. That is actually Actually, take that back, because then I would argue her net benefit was positive, but her
People she was sticking dirty needles in might disagree.
Wait,
her,
God damn it, Big D. We're trying to have a trial here.
So
Arian,
when I say
you're talking yourself out of your own charges right now. You're negotiating.
No,
You're lucky
100%.
Big T stepped in for you.
I was with net benefit until I thought about it for a second, because net benefit on its surface sounds good, but net benefit gives credence to her overall impact, and it's what preachers sell. They sell hope, right? Like Joel Osteen, his net benefit is probably good, right? But his actual impact is negative.
No, I disagree with that
Get to
too.
Olstein's trial down the
Couldn't
road.
care less.
We'll try him at a different date.
Yeah, we could definitely try him at a different day, but
I got him locked up in the back. We'll bring him out in a couple months.
got you.
So yeah, Billy, proceed. Unless you have any more questions.
Do you have any more of an opening statement, Billy?
Yes.
Okay.
Mother Teresa touched many a person.
Easy. She's from a Catholic church.
She touched many person. All right.
She dedicated her whole life.
Mad Dog, do you want to take over this opening statement?
So, Mother Teresa, Billy, you can chime in. Mother Teresa was a woman that knew no bounds in terms of her service to others. And remember, I'm defense. And helped those in need wherever she was. We believe that her sainthood is deserving, and that she is, some may say, rated perfectly in terms of her overrated versus underrated.
Okay, I'm going to step in a little bit here, because I feel like it's important to say that Mother Teresa, she saved a shitload of lives, right?
Yes.
Like
did.
a ton of lives.
Objectively.
She did more for the poor than most do in their lifetime.
Yeah, that's why she's a saint, Billy.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
No.
My point of contention is Mad Dog already had that description written down for Taylor Swift, and she just swapped the name out.
Also, when you have to scream, "Remember, I'm the defense," probably not a good
Okay, let's just
telltale sign for your
I'm just saying
argument.
this isn't maybe my fully true opinion, but I also am and was raised Catholic, so I know a lot about her from theology classes.
It shouldn't be that hard, though, to make a defense of Mother
not.
Teresa.
Okay, the allegations against Mother Teresa.
Actually a great point for the prosecution.
allegations-
Billy,
right there.
shut up. No.
All the allegations against Mother Teresa are based off of modern interpretations of valiant efforts in the past, and much of the things that she's accused of doing were.
Hold on. Don't steal man the prosecution. Let the prosecution.
Let Billy finish.
Well,
But what he said.
Yeah,
what
dude,
he's saying
I'm gunning down your argument before you even voice it. That's what you.
That's what I'm saying. You're supposed to defend her.
I'm defending her. The accusation.
You're trying to steal man. You're trying to steal man my position.
I will steal
Don't do that.
man. It's a stalemate. So anyway,
That's not the word he was saying.
Nope.
By the way.
What?
we're getting into it. Come on, we're playing lawyer.
Just finish.
Okay.
You're fucking
playing.
up.
All the accusations made against her can be made against the medical community at large and any charitable institution of the time.
Nope,
Mother
that's wrong.
Teresa went above and beyond and helped more people than any of us ever will in our lifetimes. And her accomplishments, such as her Nobel Peace Prize and her Raymond Magsaysay Peace Prize, as well as canonization, are total objective accomplishments and merits that she was, all in all, a person who did the best she could.
And the current Pope, Pope Francis, canonized her in 2015 based on her 2 miracles attributed with her and her valiant efforts across third world countries.
Well, good thing that guy's never made a questionable decision as Pope.
I don't know what he has.
No, he's
All right.
Oh, he's a real piece of work, right, Big T?
Let's lay out the accusations.
Yeah.
All right. God has gotten 2 PC. The Catholic Church.
agreed.
So there are many criticisms of Mother Teresa, right? And we can be here for a long time. There's documentaries made out this. There was actually a study conducted by 3 or 4 theologians and academics that levied her works, her good works, versus her reputation, right? And I think it was called Saint, or I don't know about the name, but basically in that paper and many criticisms from scholars, authors, writers in general, the reason why she had so much criticism was very warranted. And I think the biggest one, in my opinion, was her hypocrisy. This is me talking. I think her biggest criticism should be her hypocrisy, because what she did was she took the dogma from the Catholic Church, which was pro-life stances, right? Anti-contraception stances, and she took them in places where people there was ridden with HIV and sexually transmitted diseases, and she preached no contraception, right? Which is wildly irresponsible. That's Catholic dogma, religious dogma. And she did so under the guise of this is what God wants, right? All the while in her memoirs, writing to her clergymen, right? And her memoirs, she wasn't even sure that God existed. She was more towards the end of her life an atheist than I was, right? And I don't let me say it. This is her words, writing to her own clergymen, professing her lack of faith. She said, and I quote, Exhibit A, I'd like to bring into the court's evidence. She said, and I quote, "I call, I cling, I want, and there is no answer. No one on whom I can cling. No, no one. Alone. Where is my faith? Even deep down right, and there is nothing but emptiness and darkness. My God, how painful is the unknown pain. I have no faith. I dare not utter the words and thoughts that crowd in my heart and make me suffer untold agony. So many unanswered questions live within me, afraid to uncover them because of the blasphemy. If there be a God, please forgive me. When I try to raise my thoughts to heaven, there is such convicting emptiness that those very thoughts return like sharp knives and hurt me in my very soul. I am told God loves me, and yet the reality of darkness and coldness and emptiness is so great that nothing touches my soul." So very powerful words, I believe, right? If your conviction in yourself and your ideology is not even one that convinces yourself, you therefore take a message that is proselytized by the church to then implement in a society that you don't even believe to be true yourself. That is, to me, levies her biggest. So like we're all hypocrites to a certain degree, right? We're all hypocrites. But hypocrisy, where you're actually affecting the lives of other people, that's when I would levy that accusation against somebody, very much so. I have more, but I've been long-winded. If the defense would like to, or the judge would like to intervene.
I'd like to weigh in real quick. So what was the date on that letter?
I don't know the exact date, but it's more towards the end of her life. So she wavered back and forth, but at the end of her life, this was her stance.
Okay. And also, what's the sourcing on that? Because it looked like a meme, and I'm not saying that memes aren't sources.
Right.
I just want to make sure to cut.
These were her letters to her, because you have spiritual advisors or whatever they call them in the Catholic Church. These were her professions to them, because in Catholicism you like, what is it? You go to confession, right? Mm-hmm. These were kind of her. She was like kind of confessing her, and she did it in letters.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm looking up the sourcing on that. It looks like it was a letter written to Jesus at her confessor's request. So
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, telling Jesus himself. That seems pretty final. That seems like some pretty concrete evidence that Mother Teresa at least was an atheist at the end of her life.
Well, so the issue I have with it, right, is not that she questioned her faith, because I believe if you are a person of faith, you will question it at some point in time, because that's what thoughtful beings do. But the issue is you're still carrying out orders from said church, and you don't even believe it to be true in your heart of hearts, in your deepest, darkest moments, but you're still carrying out these orders. So that, to me,
at the very least, it seems pretty concrete that she was agnostic at best, and that when she was in this mindset, so she was not sure that there even was a God when she wrote these letters. And
this sounds more agnostic than atheist.
yeah, good point. Good point. All
Well,
right, so-
well, hold on, whoa. Before we get away with that one, we have to define our we have to define our terminology, because a lot of the times, and I dealt with this all the time, when religious people think about atheism, they think it's an assertion there is no God, which is not the case. Atheism is a lack of belief in a God. It's not the assertion that there is no God. Agnosticism is a knowledge claim. I can be agnostic on how many apples you have in that bag, right? I don't know, right? So you can literally be an agnostic atheist.
I think
just
this
wanna
was
clarify terminology.
I think it was more agnostic than atheist, because like you said, atheist is a lack of belief. She kind of goes back and forth between, she does show some belief, because she's saying, if there is a God, I hope that he forgives me. So it seems like that's not a lack of belief entirely.
But it is, that's why I say she goes back and forth. She does in parts of this say that she doesn't believe. I think she wants to believe.
I think she's like half in, half out at this
That's
point.
what I'm saying. Yeah. So that I just want to clarify that. Yeah, we good. Go ahead.
Big T's leaving the courtroom in protest right now. We didn't make anybody swear in.
Oh
Under
shit!
oath.
I should have brought a Bible.
Yeah. Billy, what's your response?
At the height of the siege of Beirut in 1982,
Who could forget?
Mother Teresa rescued 37 children trapped in a frontline hospital by brokering a temporary ceasefire between the Israeli army and the Palestinian guerrillas. Mother Teresa saw so much throughout her life, more than any typical Christian. For her to question her faith was probably totally
She's
appropriate, because she had seen so much suffering
Right.
and so much
Right.
that God isn't supposed to do to his people.
She was the good she wanted to put into the world, and she was questioning maybe to God, why are these things happening to these good people? Why are bad things happening to good people? And maybe was questioning God's work on this planet.
By implementing the methods of lack of contraception, preaching of abstinence, and promoting basically Catholic dogma, she thought she was doing the right thing. And throughout promoting that and seeing that it may have not been working, that could also cause questioning of belief.
I would also say that Mother Teresa didn't do these fine acts as a Catholic woman, but as a woman trying to promote God's
Show God's love,
godly
in the world.
love
So
to
I'm
the
looking.
earthly people.
I'm looking up some sourcing on the Beirut thing, and so yeah, there are 37 children that were in a hospital. It was kind of a mental hospital in Lebanon, and the hospital was hit by Israeli bombs. And she took the 37 kids, led them out of there, despite the fact that they may have been practicers of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a conflict between Islam and a Jewish state, Israel. And she, having no dog in that fight necessarily, came in. Sounds like she did a pretty good thing by taking these kids out. Now, I guess the question becomes, what was her goal in taking these kids and saving their lives? Because I think if you save 37 kids' lives, we can almost definitively say that you had a net positive impact on the world if you do that out of the kindness of your heart. That seems like something that a good person would do.
Which Billy and I think is true.
What was her goal? And that was her goal. Was she like, look at these 37 children in a mental hospital, they're going to be really easy converts? Or was her goal like, I just want to save these kids' lives because it's the right thing to do?
WWJD.
Well, let us let the court decide, right? And just sticking with my first criticism, because I have many, right? And we'll go on to others after this. If we're dealing with net positive, right? And you name 37 of her saved children.
Yeah,
right?
I guess I need to find out what those children grew up to do. Like,
No, irrelevant. Let's say they grew up to be all upstanding, productive members of society, right? Mm-hmm. I'll grant you that. Would we say that continuing to block information and contraception from people who need it, thousands of people, would be a net positive towards that society?
I think that's a fair question to ask, because birth control can keep down the rates of suffering children, especially in a developing country, where they might not have access to health care, to necessities.
Disease, sexually transmitted diseases are rampant in those areas as well. If you have contraceptive and preach contraceptive, what you do is you increase the probability that those diseases spread, right? Or you decrease the probability that those diseases spread. And so what you do is you're increasing livelihood. Study after study also says that if you have higher access to medical care, higher access to contraceptive, you increase the probability of the health and well-being of that society, and the lower amount of kids that you have as well.
Studies have also shown that sex feels way better without a condom. So she was just really making it tough for a lot of people.
She was for raw dogging.
Yeah.
I would argue that if Mother Teresa adopted that ideology and had known what we know now about those sorts of tactics, Mother Teresa would have changed her stance immediately.
That's what the fuck you say? Wait, how do you interrupt?
Cap. Wait. No,
what is the term?
Objection.
What is the term?
You have to say
objection.
Cap. Instead of saying objection, say cap. I'll tell you overruled or sustained.
Cap. What you're doing is you're making an assertion about Mother Teresa's mind state post death, when we have not even heard the totality of evidence to see her mind state when the information was present.
So Billy also sometimes gets stuck in a world where anything that happened before he was born, he assumes that nobody knew anything about anything. So we still had pretty good we still had pretty good information about what contraceptives can do to help people when it comes to sexually transmitted diseases and so forth.
So for terminally ill patients, Mother Teresa would always baptize them to ensure that they'd reach heaven, because she knew that that was salvation and something that she knew she could do to help those people.
Cap.
And the only thing she could do.
I would like the court to. It's not something she knew; it's something she thought.
Right? But if she had had a cure for those people, she's been quoted saying that she would have much rather cured them and helped them live as opposed to just baptizing them.
More Cap. Can I introduce new evidence, Judge?
You may.
There is also the second part of my criticism, where I believe that Mother Teresa was not a fan of the poor, but a fan of poverty. Now, why do you say that, might I ask? In a 1981 press conference in which she was asked, do you teach the poor to endure their lot? Meaning stay in their place or not enjoy, but to kind of know their role, right? She replied, I think it is very beautiful for the poor to accept their lot, to share it with the passion of Christ. I think the world is being much helped by the suffering of the poor people. So I would like to introduce another set of evidence. She was talking, and these are the words of her mouth, right? I was very careful not to just levy accusations. This is shit she said, right? She told a patient that was suffering. She said, "You are suffering like Christ on the cross, so Jesus must be kissing you." And she tells this story, and the patient turned to her and said, "Then please tell him to stop kissing me." So I would argue that if she had a cure, right? And she tells this very flippantly story, right? And it's funny, but if she had a cure, I would argue that she would not implement the cure, because she believed poverty was something that was sharing of the suffering of Jesus.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. She put up more conversion numbers that she reported back to the Catholic Church. Like, she was putting up numbers.
Mm-hmm.
She was out there.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah, no, she was
saints.
like, she was converting like it was literally like insane what she was doing. She was going through the sick bay where people were dying and just baptizing them before their death.
She was stat padding.
Yeah, she was stat
In garbage time.
in garbage time on people. They couldn't say no. She was baptizing these people.
The Kirk Cousins of conversions.
Like, I'll try to defend that some of the medical practices that were bad for the time were widespread across India amongst medical, like the stuff about cleaning needles and whatnot. Like, much of that in the late and early 80s was, no one really knew about the extent of.
No, we knew about clean needles. We knew about clean needles.
Right, but it wasn't widespread amongst the third world.
But the issue was that she didn't put people in positions that had medical knowledge. There were volunteers, and a lot of the times volunteers were very kind and good-hearted people. But the issue was the reports found out that they were just practicing really bad medicine.
Yeah.
And when questioned about it, she was just like, this is the way it's supposed to be, for whatever her reasons are.
So honestly, the last card I was going to pull out of my deck to sort of prove that she was a good person is this picture of her and Dr. Fauci from the 80s. So she's got to be a good person because Dr. Fauci's out there chilling with her. Look, I just sent it to the group. That's Dr. Young and Spry, Dr. Fauci with Mother Teresa.
Did they have a thing?
That's all I got.
I hope not. She'd have been robbing the cradle right there, bro. Oh my God. I got a thing for old women. That's too old. That's too old.
So
Glad you draw the line at Mother Teresa.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I got nothing on it.
Is it that bad though?
Yeah.
Would it be that bad if she had a clinic that was set up, and she's
Wasn't
not,
one clinic.
She's
It was-
not.
I'm
She's
sorry,
not
I'm
getting
sorry,
rich
I'm
off it. She's not. She's not getting wealthy. She's.
Some may say she was wealthy. though.
She-
oh wait, never
yeah.
mind.
I guess maybe we have to get into that.
Arian-
She was richer than Arian.
She took in millions of dollars and possibly billions of dollars. I don't want to say billions because the numbers aren't very concrete, because like there's so many missing millions of all the money that she took in. A lot of them say they gave them back to the church. Well, if you argue that she gave them back to the church has been demonstrably proven to hide pedophiles for decades, right? And so then what you're doing is, you mean to tell me Mother Teresa didn't know that was going on? That might be a reach, but I mean, this is one of the biggest crime organizations the world has ever seen. And she was a conduit for that. She was a runner for that. And her I'm doing good for the world garnered millions and millions and millions in donations. And they then turn around and use that money for lawyer defenses and conversion therapy and shit like that. That was just plain fucking evil, dog. And so there was many clinics. It wasn't just one clinic. There was many clinics. But even then, when questioned about the medical malpractice, like, she didn't say, okay, there was no, how do we have the best possible outcome? It was just like, she believed that people's suffering was a good thing for Jesus.
I've noticed this from some of my friends that I had in high school and college, but there's like a small subsection of them that every now and again I check in on Facebook and I just see what people are up to. And there seem to be a lot of people that get really into their faith, whether it's in college or right after, and they want to make a difference in this world. And they want to help out the less fortunate. And what they'll do is they'll get involved in a charity from their church that's based usually in Africa, usually in sub-Saharan Africa. And they go over there and they don't have any real medical background whatsoever. Maybe they were a marketing manager or a marketing major in high school, in college.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah, or like a Tim Tebow. They don't have any real medical training, but they find themselves feeling a little bit directionless after college, like so many of us do find ourselves. And they decide that the meaning that they're going to try to get out of their life, the purpose that they're going to look towards, is by going overseas and serving other people. And they go into a developing country with zero training. And because they have more money than the people that are there, they feel like they are experts and that they can help set up a health clinic or some sort of charity mission with zero experience. And a lot of times it doesn't really work out like that. They'll give up after a year or so, and they'll come back with maybe a child that they've adopted from over there, and that's the charity work that they've done. And I was reading an article a few months ago about some people that have really fucked up some communities by going over there and hiring people with no medical training that have ended up spreading diseases. So it's like sometimes with the best of intentions possible, but if you just try to do it on your own because you're looking for meaning in your life, it can end up really screwing things up. And that might be what Mother Teresa tried to do. She wanted to save as many people's lives. She wanted to treat as many sick people. But maybe, all throughout this, she kind of was more so doing it for the church than she was for the actual people that were on the ground.
She was so indoctrinated from such a young age, and I think towards the end of her life, she started to realize, that maybe this wasn't the best thing for everything. But she was, securing as much funding as she could, converting as much people as she could, and sort of spreading several ideals that, maybe I 100% believe that she thought that what she was doing was right and just. But I do not think it was an ends justify the means. She thought that the more converts, the more money they secured, the better she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And, the whatever sort of, she wasn't trying to help the poor. Like as Arian was saying, that it was more justification of celebrating the poor and sort of using the poor as a means to get converts, acquire funding, and not exactly trying to help them largely.
Big T, I'd like to give you the opportunity to speak.
I think Arian about covered it pretty well. She was running up in these little, hospices that she set up for people, running dirty needles under cold water and then giving them back to people, giving asprin to terminal cancer patients.
She wasn't doing that.
Wait, Billy, you have to call Cap. Otherwise the court won't recognize you.
Cap. Mother Teresa never actually did
it was done
anything.
under her instruction.
Yes, well, she may have allowed it to happen, but Mother Teresa was not,
Yeah, Billy, when someone allows things to happen and they're in charge, we generally
you can't
credit them with doing it.
I guarantee that Mother Teresa
You're
never
culpable.
held
You're culpable.
a needle.
Correct.
It
But you're
was
culpable.
injecting people.
I mean, there's
She was the Catholic Church Joe Paterno, it sounds like.
Mao Zedong didn't actually kill 50 million Chinese people, but he did.
He was in charge of it.
Overruled, Billy. I think that's the one where I agree with Big T, right?
But you can't say she was doing that. She was allowing it to happen.
Yeah, you're saying the same thing, Billy. You're agreeing with me.
Yeah.
I got a homeboy who got 12 years because he was in a car, somebody that was doing a drive-by. He didn't do it, but he did it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Mother Teresa riding shotgun.
But yeah, she was doing all that shit, racking up millions of dollars.
Mother Teresa was riding shotgun while one of her nurses was throwing around needles.
It's like
Dirty needles.
Yeah, she was holding. It was raining outside. She was holding the syringe out and cleaning it off of the window.
No,
and Mother Teresa was
there's
pretending not to notice.
there's a hilarious conspiracy that Mother Teresa is really Dr. Fauci's father.
Oh, fuck me.
And that she's not actually a woman.
Right,
so
we're gonna table that discussion.
I uncovered a bunch of weird. I was trying to see, okay, let's see if there's any Mother Teresa conspiracies, and boom, Fauci's involved.
This is where Billy, the internet anthropologist, really shines.
Yeah, I mean, I found some crazy stuff. Anyway, just found that picture of Fauci and Mother Teresa. So if Fauci's a good guy and hanging out with Mother Teresa, she must be there.
Now, wait, Billy, the text that you sent us, the picture of Fauci and Mother Teresa, are we sure that that's real?
Yeah, no, that's 100% real.
How do you know it's 100% real?
Because they were working on the AIDS initiative.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that because high probability that it was photoshopped, and I don't think that you truly know whether or not it's real. I think you're just saying that it's real.
No, it had to do with it was.
Where did
Dr.
you find
Fauci,
it? Where did you find it? Let's see if we can find an actual news article that has this picture, not just from a Reddit thread.
Okay, so
I googled Fauci, Mother Teresa. The first article that comes up is fact check: Mother Teresa is not Fauci's mother or a child trafficker.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was at some conference discussing.
I feel like Mother Teresa, based on the whole dirty syringe thing and maybe things that happened under her watch, do we maybe...
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely photoshopped.
Okay, that's my spidey sense was tingling for Billy. I can generally tell when Billy's trying to pass, and he truly believes the lies that he tells sometimes.
No, I mean...
It felt fishy that there's a picture of Fauci, just like with his arm around Mother Teresa as we're talking about bad medicine practices.
When you Google it, it only comes up from 2 places: Facebook and Twitter. Like, that's it. They're the only sources for this picture.
All right, Billy.
Where are the originals?
Billy, would you like to do a retroactive apology for a fact that you got wrong?
I wasn't going to try to pass it really as fact.
You definitely tried to pass it as
Literally,
fact.
like,
You
no,
said
it
it's all
was from an AIDS clinic.
Now we're in the denial stage of Billy, where he won't admit that he was lying just yet. Billy, just do a retroactive apology, and we'll put it before you make the initial Mother Teresa Fauci claim in this episode. So we're covering all our bases. So the floor is yours.
I didn't actually plan on using that picture as fact. I was more going to use it as like a funny afterthought.
But you did use it as an absolute stone cold fact. You know, everyone has already listened to you talk about the picture of Mother Teresa and Dr. Fauci.
Okay, the picture of Mother Teresa standing next to Dr. Fauci is not real. Well, actually, I don't even know if it's not real.
All right, now, okay, so here we go.
I
You
know.
can prove to him that it's not.
I'm atheist about the.
I'm
picture of Mother
agnostic. I'm agnostic, but but I brought up the conspiracy. Dr. Fauci is not like that is a joke. I don't know if this picture of them together is part of that conspiracy or a real picture.
I'm gonna guess that it's not a real picture.
I mean, they both.
That
looks
was real.
real,
It
it's a
come up
picture.
from more than 2 places.
Let's see this.
Well, you are using Google, who suppresses search results. Let's remember that.
No, Billy's on DuckDuckGo.
What I really did find was a picture of Mother Teresa and Ghislaine Maxwell's father. That's something I did find.
Okay, are you sure that's now we have to go down this whole rabbit hole again because that definitely seems like it's not real.
That one's definitely real.
Again,
Well, you said about the last one.
I'm pretty sure
that looks more real than the other one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's not real, but I'm willing to be proven otherwise.
The Fauci one's in black and white. It's from like 1982.
Right.
Yeah, the height of black and white photography.
Right.
Also, Fauci is towering over Mother Teresa. I know that Mother Teresa's not, she's not Sue Bird.
She's definitely
But
tiny.
Fauci's like 5'4".
I could see Mother Teresa being 4 foot, 5 foot.
And she's older. She probably got a hunchback.
All the posts that I'm seeing about Fauci and Mother Teresa together, all the pictures, it's the same picture. It's all from Facebook or they're all in meme format. They all have text that's like right above them. So this is us fact checking Billy in real time. You still haven't really apologized for messing up that fact.
Right. I just sent.
It's not a fact. I
Twitter
just
meme.
said, here's a picture of Anthony Fauci. And
No, you
You
said-
said it was
back
at
that
the
up,
AIDS
dog. Don't
summit.
back
Like you
that
kept being like, no, I found it at this place. There's a meme going around, very poignant to what we're talking about. Accountability 101.
Okay, but I wasn't
come
trying
on,
to pass.
Billy. Come on,
okay.
Billy.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, "Hey, this is Billy Football."
I don't.
And
but
the
I
fact
wasn't
that I'm
trying
about
to pass it off as
You
like.
definitely did.
I was gonna say she definitely has to be good. Check out this picture of her and Fauci.
I know.
Okay,
but
you know what?
definitely
I'm sorry.
passed her.
I'm sorry.
Wait. Let's make it clean so we can put this in. But before you started talking about Fauci and Mother Teresa, all right. So start by saying, "Hey, this is Billy Football. And I'd just like to let you know that what I'm about to tell you has been proven to be cap."
Hey, this is Billy, and the picture of Mother Teresa and Dr. Fauci is not real.
I think I guess we can work with that.
Thank you. I mean, you gotta. He's not willing to. That's okay.
Avery, when you put that in, can you do like a little sound effect that it's cutting into the episode so people don't think that's just Billy talking?
Record scratch. I got.
Yeah, like,
Yep.
and then hey, it's Billy, and then unrecord scratch, and then let Billy continue with his fact that he was about to say about Fauci and Teresa.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
But check out this picture of Mother Teresa with aviators on. That's pretty cool.
Now, I'm willing to go down the deep dive of Mother Teresa Photoshops because I'm sure there's some fire Photoshops out there.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's one of her with.
She looks like Biden.
That's interesting.
It is.
No, but the one with her and Maxwell's is because he was a donor.
Okay. She takes a lot of pictures.
Yeah, I mean, you could imagine. That's
Yeah,
why.
I'm not seeing a lot of her taking pictures helping anyone.
I think she was literally just a puppet for rich people to be like, look, charity.
Did she have a documentary crew that followed her around anywhere?
A lot of the times, yeah. I think what broke the whole story open was the BBC kind of wanted to see one of her clinics, and when they did, the dude was just like, "Oh man, this is amazing!" And then when they aired it, everybody was like, hold on, fam, that shit look wild. Let me go check it out." And so when people started checking it out, they were like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Mm-hmm. Do we have any more accusations you'd like to level? Not accusations, I should say. Any more evidence that you'd like to present?
There was just people. So there were doctors that visited, and there was misdiagnosed. There was lack of diagnosis. Right? They didn't allow people to be diagnosed. There was medications. There was people that were dying in that place that could have easily been treated with the medical technology of the day. Like it wasn't.
Do you have evidence to support that?
I do. So there was. I didn't know we were still in the court. Judge, my fault.
That's okay.
There was a woman who was a caretaker who witnessed, and this is, I forget her name. I should have wrote on it. I didn't know I was going to actually need the evidence, but she was in the documentary Hell's Angels by Christopher Hitchens. She's a writer and she was a volunteer there. And there was her and a couple other ones that there was a doctor that came through that witnessed one patient have a high fever being treated with paracetamol and tetracycline. It's an antibiotic, only later he was diagnosed with malaria by a visiting doctor who prescribed chloroquine. And so I don't know shit about the medical field, but there was medical professionals that saw malpractice. And the issue I have with it is not, yo, oops, my bad. That happens. Like Billy was trying to say early on, the reason why it would be called malpractice is its intent and also the know-how. If you know you don't know what you're doing, that's malpractice. It's not, we did the best we could with the information we had. That's not malpractice per se, right? And so I think that's the issue, is they knew better. Like there wasn't like they would, and plus she had access to hundreds of millions of dollars, any medical professional in the field that she wanted. She had access to all of these people. But like I said, in a pure projection, I believe that she tied her clinics and to her worldview, which was she believed that poor people suffering was a good thing.
Yeah. The Robert Maxwell picture is true.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
She accepted huge amounts of money from Robert Maxwell.
All right. I'm like 70% believing that picture is true now. It's important because I don't know the search that you've done to verify it, but I think I believe you. I'm going to give you that.
Somewhat with the aviators?
No, this is the one with Jelane's dad.
Yeah, no, that one's, I don't know if the picture's true, but they did have relations.
Oh, wait. You literally just said that the picture's 100% true.
Well,
this is why I was right to not totally believe you.
I don't even know what's real or fake anymore.
What? Let's go to square one here. What was your source on that picture? Maybe people can learn from us about how we're fact checking our statements and the things that we find online in real time.
Okay.
Where did you find it?
Reddit.
Okay. All right. Now we're down to 40%.
Okay.
Hot start.
But on the Wikipedia page, there's several articles talking about their relations.
Okay.
So
we're up to 55% again. If you're actually on a Wikipedia page and not like,
and it's corroborated in a Telegraph
and not like Pedopedia, where they just accuse everybody of being a pedophile.
No, I would never.
I'm sure that there's a website like that.
I just thought the Fauci and her photo was funny.
Okay. It was all a bit.
It was all a bit.
She knew Charles Keating, right?
Yeah, she vouched for him to the judge that he is a good person, basically.
So Charles Keating, if you're not familiar with him, he was a big-time anti-pornography guy. And that's always going to be a red flag to me. He led the government's crusade against pornography. If anybody makes it their life's mission to be anti-pornography, that tells me you have a real problem with pornography in your private life. Because most people, if you're not into pornography, you just kind of don't think about it, and it doesn't become the central focus of your life. Like imagine that. Imagine like making that your life statement to get everyone else has to stop watching porn. I
got a homie who's anti-pornography, who I will not name, but I've had those same thoughts.
Ben Roethlisberger?
Nah, I don't know that nigga like that.
He's big anti-porn guy now.
Is he really?
He had an addiction, and he quit. He had to quit cold turkey. I don't know what his
Porn
addiction
is
was.
very healthy. I think porn is very healthy.
Billy was actually asking this the other day about what level of addiction do you think Ben Roethlisberger really had to pornography? I have a theory. I think Big Ben got caught jacking off one time by his wife, and he was like, "I have a problem. Like, it's an addiction. It's not my fault. It's a sickness." And so then he had to like go way, way public with it just to like prove to his wife that he wasn't just casually jacking off. That's my theory.
We
I
should
don't
be
know enough.
everything we do know about that guy. We should be almost forcing him to watch porn. Like, that seems to be the safest for everyone.
Compulsory pornography viewing hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Charles Keating guy, he was kind of famous for a number of things, but one of the things in politics that he was really known for was being a big anti-porn guy. And so it kind of would make sense that if you're a very vocal anti-porn leader, that you probably have some religious connotations to that. I don't think that most people who are anti-porn just do it because they don't like porn. There's usually some background to it that says, my faith tells me that you shouldn't be watching porn, that's unhealthy. Which porn in excess, and some of the weird porn that's out now, is definitely unhealthy, and I think can like fuck kids up. But if you're going to be a super anti-porn activist, it usually has a faith background. So it doesn't surprise me that he would be using his connections to try to work with charities that were related to the Catholic Church. That part.
There's an interesting story related, because that got me thinking. Like, the reason why people think porn is bad, maybe, well, you fetishize women, maybe that. There's several different reasons, but I think masturbation and religion is probably one. Whatever. So I thought, how many times should you masturbate a day, or like what's considered healthy, right? It's a good question to ask, right? So, according to Harvard University researchers, who have 21 men who have 21 plus orgasms a month could reduce their odds of prostate cancer by 33%. Researchers concluded that more frequent rates of masturbation were associated with lower rates of prostate cancer. And their study included 31,000 men who were surveyed regarding how often they engage in self-love, tracking the participants for 18 years, recording which men developed prostate cancer. Men were assessed that year. But anyway, I thought that was interesting study, and granted, it's a loose lit study, but
Can you imagine reporting how often you jerk off for 18 years?
You keep a book.
I'm assuming they got compensated.
I would hope so. Just like that becomes part of that just becomes part of your routine. Like, hey, I got to call these researchers, tell them. You know.
I did it again.
I'm assuming they just took the accumulative data, like maybe quarterly. I'm not sure. Like every time, as soon as you're done, you're like, "Yo, doc."
Yeah, not every time. I'm sure it was a monthly check-in.
It's also probably underreported too. Just like when you go visit the doctor and they say, "How many beers do you drink a week when you're 24 years old?" And you tell them, I have like 6 beers a week. Maybe 3 on Friday, 3 on Saturday, none during the week. They automatically triple that. I don't think anyone out there is over-reporting the number of times they jack off during a week.
I may be somewhat of a. I consume alcoholic beverages probably more than the average human. But is it me, or do you find those questions like, who the fuck? Well, they'll ask, how many drinks a week do you have? And it's like 1 to 2. Like, who just has like a glass of something? Like, is that a thing, or am I just an alcoholic?
I think some people, if you get older, you're like, yeah, I have my 1 beer on Friday. I had a friend whose dad, it was actually Mark from Hard Factor. His dad would not drink during the week, and then on Friday he'd have 1 like very strong IPA, sometimes 2, and then just fall asleep at 8:30 p.m. on his couch. And
okay.
that was his party night. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. It's something that we can all aspire to.
That's the future, guys.
Yep. All right. So, Mother Teresa, we have anything else in her defense that we'd like to say? Mad Dog?
I think that although her reputation does have smears in it, I feel that maybe the Catholic Church sees her as a saint because, well, the Catholic Church maybe has a tainted image of good and bad, but also she didn't know at the time that what she was doing would have maybe harmful effects on other people. I'm just speculating. So I think that maybe her intentions were good. Maybe she had some self, wanting to boost herself up. Who doesn't? If you became Mother Teresa and you were like, look, I got an opportunity to become a saint, wouldn't you want to capitalize on that as well?
She probably.
No.
Well,
I think
I know
there's,
you wouldn't,
there's definitely
Arian.
some merit to saying that the Catholic Church, they have an image problem, to put it lightly, and they've
Right.
had an image problem
For a while.
And Mother Teresa was somebody that they could point to and say, here's some of the
She's
good things
great.
that the church can provide for people in need. So they had definitely an interest in making sure that she was very well promoted, and that after she passed away, she was going to become a saint, because that's something that they could show a positive impact for
Right.
with the church. Now, Mother Teresa herself, she probably, I think we've established that her clinics weren't the great places that many people think that they might have been.
But if they didn't go there, where else would they go?
But was it a net positive? Did she end up saving more lives? Did she provide health care to people that would not have been able to have it at all? What's the word I'm looking for? As insanitary as some of the places might have been, unsanitary,
Unsafe.
unsafe.
Could have been better than nothing.
Is it better than nothing that she
Right.
was able to treat some people?
Also,
No, it's not better than nothing, because the money she raised for it when accounted for, right?
That's
when
the
you-
other
when
side
you-
of the coin.
when you put up a farce that you're doing good, right, and you're not really doing good, you're just saying it's better than just dying on the street, right? But then the guise of it is, I'm a saint, and then you get all this funding, and then that funding goes missing. No, that's not good.
True. I mean, true. Also, though, okay, so growing up, going to Catholic schools, she died. What year?
I
did
think she was
die?
kind of a
90,
pause.
97? Was 97? 97?
Oh, she died that
There
long.
is the element, though, that she may have been an inspiration for others to do good across.
Oh my God! I mean,
Yeah.
she was the shining light of the Catholic Church in the early 2000s to 2010s. I grew up in Catholic school, being like, people be like, Mother Teresa did this, Mother Teresa did that. Obviously, in nowhere did we see the other side of that, and I didn't learn that until I did my own research later in life. But in the Catholic Church alone, she is the example. She is the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean,
in the non, or is it secular? Would that be secular?
Mhm.
In the secular world, is maybe she looked at it a bit different. Yes, but if we're looking at just Catholics, she is an A+.
It's always interesting to me to think about if you take
A-.
If you take, somebody that has the best of intentions. Let's just say somebody that's not Mother Teresa, and they want to make a difference in the world, and they go overseas and they set up a large organization that helps to take care of millions of sick kids. Probably have to hire a couple thousand people. There are probably going to be some real shitheads in that group of a couple thousand that you hire. How are you able to run that big of an organization and deal with all the bullshit that might come along with it, and not turn into somebody that you can point at throughout history and say, well, actually, they weren't that good because they had these people that worked for them that did X, Y, and Z. There's definitely steps that you can take to make sure that the people underneath you are operating the right way. But I think the larger any organization gets, the more likely you are that there's going to be some sort of scandal that pops up from the people that work with you, even if you are a good person.
I don't disagree with that. I think the issue I had, and why I don't feel like that falls under the Mother Teresa category, is it's always been my funk with religion, right? And why I don't really argue with people about religion anymore, because I believe that faith actually helps people operate in their day-to-day lives to be good human beings. Like I really honestly believe that. I don't have any, but like, I'm more power to you if you do. But the issue, I think, comes when you start to, so you said she had good intentions, right? Well, I also believe that people who, and this is very extreme, but people who do suicide bombings, they have good intentions, right? But the outcome of those intentions are subjective. I mean, I'm sorry, the inner workings of those intentions are subjective. So where I think what I'm doing is for the greater good, right? And I'm not saying she killed anybody per se, right? But what the shit that she did had very negative effect on human beings who she was dealing with. So the intentions, sure, they might be there, But this is my funk with religion is there is no objectivity in how to gauge your intentions or your pure heart. Because to tell a bunch of people, a community ridden with HIV, you shouldn't have contraception is wildly irresponsible.
Agree with
Also,
that.
Maybe caused a lot of death, right? And so, and on top of that, you wasn't giving them adequate healthcare for that anyway. So the whole, like, sure, your intentions matter. God may tell you that this is the right thing to do, but if there's no objective standard as to why this is a healthy practice, then it's just irresponsible. That's my only funk with religion is when it starts to implement people with no objective moral standard.
I could see Big T was about to jump off the couch when you said the suicide bomber thing, so I'm going to give him
Go ahead.
a chance.
Go
Well,
ahead.
they have intentions that they believe, not good intentions.
They believe it's good though.
Correct. I just wanted to clarify that.
Well,
Yeah.
if they're gunning for those 72 virgins, is that good?
They don't believe it's just 72 virgins, bro.
I know.
They believe. Okay.
That was an
joke.
offhand
Gotcha.
joke.
I think they believe that doing an act that 99.9% of the world would agree would be heinous and objectionable, they believe in their mind that it's the right thing to do. I don't know if they have like good intentions behind it. Then you get into the whole discussion of what good means.
That's what I'm saying. So good is a subjective term, which is why one of the greatest things the white people did when they founded this country was they haphazardly put a line between church and state, right? Because if you want a society to be cohesive, it has to be secular. Because if it's not, then your belief system, then whatever it may be, will supersede somebody else's belief system based on no objective facts or no objective morality. And that lies an issue. And so to make it secular means, listen, you have your beliefs, but you can't inject that into legislation per se. I mean, we still do to a certain extent, but you can inject that into legislation because there's no basis behind it that we can, like, we live in the material world. We can't live in this supernatural world. We have no way to examine it. And until we do, it just makes zero sense to base your life on it. So that's, to legislate your life.
So that's why you make laws based around acts, specific acts, and not based around what's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it makes more logical sense. But this is why, like, it's hard having this conversation because, like, when religious people hear that, they think, oh, you're an ass. I'm not. I prefaced it with, I believe that you should have your freedom of religion and believe what you believe. But when you start legislating it, the issue is if somebody believes in a God that disagrees with the God that you believe in, then we have real conflict. You know what I mean? And there's no way to adjudicate it because there's no way to objectify it.
Excuse me if this is a really big reach, and correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this the whole battle between what's actually good, like basically morality? Isn't that kind of how the Kyle Rittenhouse case, like, he thought I mean, obviously he killed people, and we know that's bad, but he thought he was doing a good thing going into that?
I think he thought that he was there for all the right reasons.
Right, and so then that's like what people are debating of, you know, whether he had good intentions or not is not.
Well, that actually, it speaks to Arian's point, because when you look at the facts of the case and what actually happened there, and as Billy has said several times on the show, like, everybody in that situation kind of deserved themselves. Like, it was a really fucked up situation with nobody that was a really great person. It doesn't sound like that we're all in conflict with each other. He, by the rule of the law, did not commit a crime. Now, there's debates on both sides of it, but it looks like at least he was found not guilty. But the reason that he was there, like, he put himself in that situation, but we don't legislate decision making when it comes to you being in a location because of something that you believe is right or wrong. I think I said that right.
No, I think you did a good job. And so, like, I actually had an online debate with Destiny. He's like a super left. Well, I don't even think he's left anymore, but he's like a political commentator. It's pretty big. And we were debating just that exact thing, where I believe that, like, sure, Rittenhouse, he had a right to be there, yada yada yada. The legality of it, I was positive he was going to get off. This was like a year ago, but I thought that he was a provocateur. Like, I thought if you bring a loaded weapon to a protest that you oppose, that's provocative. And in no instance does a good outcome come from that, in my opinion. But you're right, Mad Dog, when you say it's a subjective thing, because somebody will hear that and they'll be like, "Fuck you, he's protecting property," right? And we can go back and forth on property versus people. But it is a subjective thing. It is why to legislate something like that is a hard thing to do, because those are subjective morals. Like, there's no right or wrong. That's just how people feel.
Mm-hmm. Avery, you've been sitting on this jury. Where you find yourself being swayed to?
So I wrote some notes down, but I don't know. I think she's a fraud, based on I sway towards Arian when he's talking about the hypocrisy, and I just think that the defense side didn't come with prepared facts. They were a little lackadaisical on their information. So I'm leaning towards.
Wait, Billy wants to call Cap on.
I'm calling. Honestly, I was researching all of her stuff, and I found more about the controversy than like the one concrete. I saw how much money she raised, how many clinics she opened in Calcutta, that one instance of saving those children, and then meeting tons of world leaders. But most of the specifics about controversy, and I couldn't find anything to refute that controversy. But,
Are you asking us to send your client to prison?
No, I'm asking. I think that she was a net benefit with how much she influenced people and sort of having almost a placebo effect on the people she was trying to cure was probably, worth something, with her mind being in a good place trying to cure them.
I just don't think influence outweighs controversy. Like, I think there's specific controversies that she's had that would prove her to be a fraud.
Yeah, I kind of knew this would happen.
I mean the part about the contraception in a developing country that might have STI or STD problems, that's pretty bad, because you're saying you're going to throw out the fact that if you wrap it up, then you're way less likely to transmit HIV. You're going to throw that out there in favor of just saying, well, God tells you to not have sex until you get married. So if everyone were to just abide by that rule, then there would be significantly less HIV in the community, which is true, but it also completely ignores human nature, which is, humans are going to fuck. And humans aren't always going to remain faithful or monogamous, even when they are in those relationships. So that is kind of like malpractice, especially if you're running what's supposed to be a medical clinic to introduce something like that that's really not medicine, that could impact people negatively. Yeah, I'm going to agree that that's somewhat fraudulent, but I do think that she was probably able to help a lot of people that would not have been helped otherwise. So I guess it's the most cop-out answer I can give, which is saying, like, in conclusion, Mother Teresa was a land of contrasts. She had some good and some. She was a complicated historical figure.
And I think that's fair. I think a lot of the times, especially when we're assessing historical figures or figures in general, like, we get caught into this yes or no, good or bad thing. But there's a duality that exists in this world, and it's like there are people that have done horrible things that are good people and do good things, and there are people who are great human beings who have done shitty things. And so it's like understanding that duality and trying not to get caught up in it. And like a lot of it was hype for the show and shit, but like I couldn't care less about Mother Teresa's like judgment either way. I just know that going forward, present her as she was rather than the myth of her.
Mother Teresa was no saint.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, Billy wants to call Cap.
Well, the thing is, she pleased the people who are in charge of making people saints. So
yeah, but I mean,
Good
the
take,
bar was
Billy.
low though. The bar is low. She wasn't a saint until she committed miracles. I mean, she committed miracles.
But that's how every saint
she did.
is.
Sure, but
yeah, but the mirror, yeah.
it's like the FBI exonerated themselves over the CIA, and the CIA exonerated themselves over the involvement of crack cocaine, right? We've done a research and we've conducted, and we found that there's been no missteps, right? It's the church and it's the theologians and it's the church that look at those medical instances and say, we've determined that there is no possible medical explanation for this other than a woman touching Mother Teresa or praying to Mother Teresa. And it's like, come on, man.
And
I-
also, there's some people that like actually dispute that. The husband of one of the women that had the cyst, he was like, she was actually taking medicine, real medicine, for about a year, and that's what got rid of the cyst.
So honestly, the closest thing we could compare this to is Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay.
I'm listening.
We're listening.
Probably
Big T said, I'm listening.
he probably pleased the people who are in charge of picking the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yes.
But isn't that like everything? Like Joe Biden won the presidency because he pleased the people that vote.
Big T.
Allegedly.
In the in the
a
electoral
lot of
college.
votes got found about
like-
3 a.m.
like,
in
what I'm
Michigan
saying
when
is that
everybody was asleep.
She definitely won the saint game, like
this
the game
dude
of
here.
becoming a saint. She definitely won that game.
But
by
isn't that
meeting.
the
It's like
game
Hall
of
of Fame
life?
voting.
Yeah, but
Yeah, saints are the Catholics' Hall of Fame. I think that's a perfect way to
that's
put
totally
Yeah,
fair.
so like
I'm okay with that.
she met the criteria.
You can't
By
tell the
there.
story of
She was a-
Catholicism without Mother Teresa.
She was the
it.
first
Right? Yeah, I
ballot
don't know that she was
sainthood
first
person.
ballot though. It took her 20 years after she died to get voted in.
You
That's
have to
like
be. You have to be dead.
Veterans Committee.
You have to be dead for a certain amount of
Yeah,
time.
you have to,
5 years. Yeah, I know the Hall of Fame voting rules.
Well, these miracles just don't commit themselves because it's a little bit different from the Hall of Fame because you don't really get judged entirely on what you've done on the field.
but like
You get judged after your career's over, you know?
You don't get judged
I would
for.
argue we do that with the Hall of Fame too.
Well, yeah,
but like
Barry
the
Bonds.
converts
Absolutely
are like
should, by the way.
touchdowns. Like she was putting up numbers converting people. Like that's like putting up points.
It is funny though to
In
imagine
yards.
Mother Teresa doing the rounds every day, asking which patients are about to die, so she can go in real quick, sprinkle some water on their head, and then come back and chart like type into her Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, I got another 3 tonight.
Yeah, no, that was
that's-
exactly.
That might be what bothered me most about all this was like she was forcing a way of belief onto people in something she did not believe. Like that's evil.
That a bunch of leaders within India are also like she was straight up converting people who weren't Christian.
And what if their religious belief was correct? Was something that we'll probably never know going into this. What if they
Right.
were on the fast track to nirvana? They were about to get to heaven, and Mother Teresa comes in at the last minute of their lives, baptizes them into
Wallace.
the wrong religion, and sends them to hell.
Well, they wouldn't be going to hell.
Waiting
That
there
shit would be-
for him, and then Mother
that shit
Teresa
would be
was just
funny.
guarding the rim.
Yeah. Easy layup, and then she comes and fucks it up. That's
Chase down
hilarious.
block like LeBron.
Well,
that's
that's
who Mother
crazy.
Teresa
I was gonna say that's some Falcons type shit too. Like their win probability was 99.9% on their deathbed, and then Mother Teresa comes in.
He's like
fucks it
Kyle
all up.
Shanahan of Catholicism, Mother Teresa.
I was up 28-3 on
That's
the
a
devil.
good. They're both frauds who should both
Correct.
go to hell.
Well, it's like so Mother Teresa pleased the Pope and all the people within the Catholic Church to make her a saint, and she had the numbers for it, but she didn't please like the fans in total.
She was a compiler.
She did
Yeah.
please
Yeah.
the fans until like 10 years ago when this stuff started coming out, though.
I'm trying
She
to
didn't
think.
get her number retired
the-
by her home team.
The players she
Yeah.
played with wouldn't put her in the Hall of Fame.
She was never elected captain.
LeBron James.
That's what it was. She was never elected captain.
Uh huh.
Damn.
All right. Well, Mother Teresa. I think we discussed a lot about Mother Teresa. I think that the best way to look at her is she was like anybody else that had her positives, her negatives. She did it on a much bigger stage, and so her positives are magnified and her negatives are magnified as well.
She's Derek Jeter.
It is
Yep.
ridiculous that we were talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, and then we found out that Robert Maxwell was one of the biggest donators to Mother Teresa. That
All right,
is true.
wait, Billy, wait, because I was with you for a second. I was like, Billy is making an interesting conclusion here, but then you tossed in the word one of the biggest, and I don't think you have any stats that back up like who
he
the
was
top
a huge,
donators.
he was a
were.
huge donator.
How do you know that
much
he
did
was
he give?
huge?
Donor.
I
Use
think
the word donor.
Billy's just
Donor.
I think you're just assuming that he was one of the biggest.
He had several.
You don't know.
$1 million.
Everything that you're saying right
Okay,
now is just pure speculation.
Donating. He definitely donated a good amount of money.
To get your picture with Mother Teresa, you probably have to fork over some coin.
Yeah.
She had different packages.
You get a signature.
Yeah.
You get a worn rosary. You get
Yeah.
Photoshop.
She basically had like OnlyFans set up.
Mother Teresa twerking. Hell yeah.
Mother Teresa was accepting tips.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Well, I
That's
don't know.
amazing. That is amazing.
Whatever. I hope when I die, people have this type of conversation about me.
Definitely will.
Discuss.
I'll care. Well, you're gonna outlive me easily.
Did
Discuss the
PFT
good and the bad. All right. Anything else we want to talk about with Mother Teresa? I think we've kind of reached this conclusion here.
I complicated jaunt, but did some piece of shit stuff for sure.
Yeah, I didn't realize she died so recently. Like I know 97 doesn't feel recent, but she definitely feels like an 1800s at the minimum character.
Oh, really?
I agree. Yeah.
To me, yeah. And I mean, I know Mad Dog was talking about Catholic school. Like I went to Catholic school for 12 years and she was not brought up all that frequently.
That's so crazy. I also went to Catholic school for 12 years, and she was a topic of conversation a lot. But also, I will say my main difference is that for high school, I went to all girls school, so I feel like they bring her up more in an all girls school setting, probably.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I was in 7th grade in Boston in 2001. The reason 2001 gets brought into the equation is that was when the Boston Globe released their spotlight on the Catholic Church. Technically, it was early 2002. They were ready to drop it in September. Something you guys might have heard of. It made the news. September of 2001 happened. So they had to push it back until early. They were going to, again, release it early February. Patriots win the Super Bowl. They had to push it back a month. So I believe it was March 2002 is when Spotlight on the Catholic Church finally came out. So that was my 7th grade year at Catholic Memorial. So Catholic schools in Boston kind of had to learn on the fly what they were teaching, what they really believed in. For at least my high school career after that, I don't know if they fully believed what they were pushing.
Okay, so that makes a difference because I was in high school at said all-girls school when she was canonized. So she had a press jump. She was bumped.
That all makes sense, actually. Great. Well, that would be an interesting deep dive as well. The whole spotlight on the Catholic Church.
That is one of my Spotlight's one of my favorite movies.
Great
That's
movie.
Such a good movie.
Spotlight's crazy.
Have you seen it, Billy?
I have not actually.
You should watch it.
I
Billy,
think
it's
you'd
really good.
enjoy it.
All right. I guess that concludes our trial of Mother Teresa. Do we want to do the Tennessee Minute? We kind of did that already with the flag, but we don't have Hinton today, right? We don't have
don't have
Tyler.
the guys today.
They're fresh off a 45-21 win over Vanderbilt. So the level between Tennessee and Vandy is like the level between Tennessee and Georgia.
Are you saying you'd take that or not?
No, I'm just stating a fact. It's like Georgia is to Tennessee as Tennessee football is to Vandy right now.
Then I would say that makes Tennessee like the most perfectly average team in the country because Vandy's probably the worst and Georgia's clearly the best.
Yep.
I'd say we're a little better.
I'd say
than
you're definitely above average. And then the other big news, we'll have to ask Hendon about this when he gets back on, but he did not participate in senior night activities.
He did not.
Which
he
indicates
chose not to.
Yeah, he chose not to. That indicates strongly that he's going to be coming back next year.
Hope so.
Leave.
The weak quarterback class, I think, we'll be making a big mistake.
Ain't nothing for you back in college, dog. You've done what you could do.
National title.
Well, especially now that Rattler.
That's not going to happen.
No.
Think of the NIL deals you can get as Tennessee's first national championship quarterback since T. Martin.
Fuck the NIL deals, bro. You talking about thousands of dollars versus hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Do you think
go get money?
Do you think T. Martin is making more money than, I'm just going to throw out a random Tennessee quarterback, Peyton Manning?
I do not. No.
All right. I think that's the answer.
I also
But
don't
Peyton
think
Manning returned to school for
Peyton Manning came back.
Didn't need to, but yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'd have been number one either way.
But he chose.
In fact, if he'd come out the year before, there probably wouldn't have been as much of a debate as there was the year he came out.
He had a commitment to his school and he wanted to see it through.
What if
Fuck that? The school don't got a commitment to you. Go get
Also,
money.
there may have been some blackmail there. I know Peyton wasn't exactly the best in the
No,
locker
that's
room.
fake. That's fake.
he was no Mother
That's
Teresa?
fake.
He
That's
was
fake.
no Mother Teresa.
You know that's fake too.
I don't know that that's
No, you should look into that woman. That's fake.
Oh, no, come on.
No, no, she is.
victim blaming here.
No. She was not a victim. Go look into that. I'll send you some literature later. Don't worry about it. But it's provably untrue.
What if Arch Manning goes to Tennessee?
He ain't coming to Tennessee.
Did you
Well,
see
not
that
with that
video?
attitude.
Did you see that video of him with the chick in
Yeah.
the bed going
Was it
like,
Ole Miss?
Ole Miss.
Who?
Archie
Archie
Manning.
Yeah, but
That poor kid.
but Lane
Who's
Kiffin's
Archie
probably
Manning?
going to be heading out of Ole Miss.
He's Cooper's son.
So the third brother, he's his kid, and he's the #1 player in not this class in high school, but next year.
The third brother's son.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Manning's son.
So
not
Peyton and Eli are his uncles.
Oh, okay. I was like, who the fuck is? Okay, I got you. All right.
Cooper was the oldest of the Manning brothers, and he was a wide receiver, like a really good wide receiver in high school.
Yeah.
And he got hurt. I think he had like a spinal condition.
He went to Ole
Yeah.
Miss, and I think they found out he had it at Ole Miss.
Yeah, so he had a bad spinal condition, had to retire from football, but he was apparently. They always say he was the best player in high school of all the Manning brothers. But yeah, Arch looks like he's.
Yeah,
Arch is fast. I don't know if he's a great quarterback actually.
He's
Really?
deceptively fast.
Arch might be converted to wide receiver. That would be very funny if it was
no.
like a Lamar Jackson situation where he goes into the NFL and Bill Polian shows up out of nowhere. He's like, let's see how fast this kid can run a route.
Yeah, I like him at tight end. I don't know about all this quarterbacking.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Tennessee Minute. That's a brief
Love
one. So we want to do voicemails today, and then we're gonna do Macrodosing. Are we gonna do the Bible?
Should
I think we should. It makes
How do you-
makes so much sense.
But how do you split? Do you do a book a week?
Yeah,
Books
just
are
do a book.
long.
We could do like pick a story each week. There's
Or-
some
yeah.
great stories in there.
Yeah, you could pick like a notable story from the Bible each week. But then at that point, it's like you already know it. At least.
Yeah.
So are we just like
How long
discussing it?
is Genesis? How long
Genesis is long. I think.
Yeah,
I
they had a
don't-
lot to do.
I had to read Genesis in high school. I had to like read books of the Bible in high school.
Let there be light. That's Genesis, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Made the earth in 7 days. On 7th day he rested.
We'll figure it out. Make no promises right now, but let's jump into some
Yeah,
voicemails.
maybe don't put that in. We'll see what happens. Okay.
Before we get to the voicemails, they're brought to you by Muggsy Jeans. Muggsy Jeans are the only jeans that I wear. I did a full closet switch out where I got rid of all my old jeans. I only wear Muggsy's. That's the God's truth because they're the most comfortable jeans that you'll ever put on in your life. They're stretchy fabric, super comfortable. They feel like you're wearing sweatpants. They really do. They're the perfect pair of jeans. They're a perfect Christmas gift, too, or a holiday present for anybody that's looking for jeans. If you just want to be somebody's best friend, get them their first pair of Muggsy jeans, and they will love you forever. They're honestly that comfortable to wear. Love wearing them. I think I have like 6 pairs of Muggsy's now. So if I'm not wearing shorts, I'm wearing jeans typically. If I'm wearing jeans, I'm wearing Muggsy's. They're the most comfortable men's jeans on the planet. They have a stretch denim. They're stylish, but they feel like you're wearing sweatpants. A lot of people say I used to hate jeans. Now I don't. That's how I feel about Muggsy's. They made me love jeans. They're literally changing people's lives. Perfect gift for the friend in your life. Give the gift of comfort this holiday season with Muggsy Jeans. Use promo code Macrodosing. Promo code Macrodosing for $10 off your order when you go to muggsyjeans.com. Go to muggsyjeans.com, promo code Macrodosing. Get $10 off your order. All right, let's do some voicemails.
Okay, here's the first one.
Yo, boys and Mad Dog. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Weird question for you. Using the original members of the crew, including Avery and Mad Dog, I want you guys to build a macrodosing Frankenstein using only one body part from each of you. You could throw Wonton Don in there too. He's on regular enough that you can consider him if you want to. But only one body part each. So I'll leave it up to you guys to build the perfect monster. And I love you guys. Stay handsome and very beautiful. Love you.
All right. I'll just say Arian's hands. I'll say it's very likely that you have.
You're such a dick.
No, you
are
have
such a dick.
You have the. It's very likely you have the best hands of anybody here. I'm
it also
giving you
depends-
credit.
Yeah, whatever. It depends on what this monster is doing, right? Like, what is the monster doing? Like, what's the purpose
Let's make
of
it
the
up.
monster?
Good
Do we
point.
want it to be an NFL player?
hell no. Because
We would just be taking one NFL player
I
and
think
making
it
him
should
much
just
worse.
be a podcaster.
Yeah, it's just Arian.
It's just the perfect podcaster.
I mean, he was all pro. I'm pretty sure. So I don't know whose body parts would be an upgrade over Arian.
No, he would be like if the government was introducing like the newest, like prototype. Not alien, but Frankenstein to the public. This is what they would promote him as.
New Human just dropped.
Yeah.
New Human. Who this? All right.
I'm gonna go. I'll say Big T's feet. He's
you.
got like size 18 feet. It's ridiculous.
17. Yeah.
17. It's crazy feet.
Okay. All
Do you,
right.
do you have to
Well-
get like
well-
custom shoes?
No, Nike has them sometimes. No free ads.
You ever get him caught in anything?
Yeah, all the time. Steps are too narrow. Like steps aren't long enough.
Time out. You really have a size 18?
17, yeah.
Holy shit.
Where was
dog.
I the other day? I was walking upstairs somewhere, and they were just the tiniest fucking stairs you've ever seen. And they,
You get the
Oh, at
heels
the
hanging
Korean
off the
barbecue.
edge?
no,
Size
it was,
17?
I don't remember where I was, but
He didn't
yeah.
come to that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
I
it
have
sucks.
size 14s, and I always thought like, yeah, I probably have the biggest feet every
Nope.
time I'm in a place. Nope, Big T walks in.
Mhm.
Yeah, it sucks.
Man, y'all got some thumpers, man. That's crazy.
What was the biggest shoe of anybody you ever played with?
I don't even, probably 16, 17, something like that.
Shaq's at 23.
That's stupid.
that's like, I could fit a small human in that shit.
So that
Used to,
picture,
Look at the picture that
the
Avery
white
sent.
shoes made it look bigger than they were. And Jack McCarthy was using his wide-angle lens.
So that's a little fake news.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's still pretty massive shoes.
No, they were still big for sure, but
Hey, about as long as Buddy legs, bro. That's hilarious.
I think Billy's nose would be funny. Funny addition on any human.
What makes it so funny?
No, it's a good nose. It's a good conversation piece.
I think that your nose looks bigger on your face than my nose looks on my head.
It might. That's actually what people were saying when I took the shades off for the first time. And by the way, if you probably didn't know, but I just forgot to put my sunglasses on during this episode of Macrodosing. So if I sound different, it's because I'm not rocking shades. But that's the thing that people noticed mostly. It wasn't anything about
So
my
now
freak eyes.
now you're self-conscious about it.
It's-
So you're
yeah.
lashing out at my nose.
No, yeah, I took my glasses on. People were like, "Wow, eyes are pretty normal, but that nose is giant." It's like you've been looking at my nose for the last 5 years. I don't know how this is new.
Yeah, but the frames gave it like
the
a bigger
frames-
backdrop.
People just thought the frames were your whole entire eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time I see you without your glasses on, I'm like, yo, you got some little ass beady eyes. But it's not.
It
It's
does.
not the case.
Uh-huh.
It's just I'm used to seeing you with your glasses on.
Totally normal
It's
eyes.
the Kanye eyes effect.
Yes. Let's see. What other body parts we going for?
I feel like just the core should be me, and the legs should be me.
It's probably right if we're being honest. I mean,
I
probably
just
better
depends
shit.
on what the monster's doing.
I
Yeah,
feel
if
like
we're podcasting, it seems like a waste.
Billy, you look like you had an objection to that, man. What's popping?
I had a pretty sick six-pack about like 3 months ago.
It's not about what it can do. I mean, it's not about what it looks like. It's about what it can do.
I know I was doing several ab wheel crunches a day.
You know what? Billy thinks his core is all right. No,
Actually, no,
what?
you probably have an elite core.
No.
Probably.
It's all good. It's all good. You got it, man. We'll take Billy's body. This is hard to do. It depends on. It's hard to do.
What is it doing?
Definitely my beard. Definitely
Probably,
my beard.
probably my hair, if we're all being honest with ourselves here.
Coley's smell. Coley always smells awesome. Whenever he comes in the office, I always give him a big hug, and it's kind of like borderline insulting that I always compliment him on how good he smells because he's like, "What?
Well,
You thought I would smell?"
It
like
is
shit?"
insulting because the very first time you said it was early on in the technically the second office, and you were like, "Huh, I didn't expect that." Like I just walked out of a dumpster of some sort every morning.
To be honest, I thought you'd smell a lot more like weed.
I think it's fair, but I don't think it's a bad smell.
No, it's not.
it is.
What?
It's an objectively bad smell.
You're in the minority there.
Now, I don't know if you know what objectively means.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
by me
glad
disagreeing.
I'm glad that
by
y'all
me
love
disagreeing, by definition, makes it not objectively.
it. I guess.
Avery might have the sneaky best hair. Avery's got voluminous hair.
He's got hockey hair.
Voluminous?
Yeah, voluminous. Yeah, look at that hair.
Every time I see him, he got a hat on.
Yeah, I know. That's
I
what-
never see. Matter of fact, let me see your hair, dog. Get in front of the camera if you can. Let me see.
See?
Turn to the side. Give me a side profile. There you go. Yeah,
It's pretty good.
nice.
Hair. It's hockey hair.
It's nice white guy hair. Yeah,
It's like Justin Herbert hair.
yeah. It's like you like 6 months from what's the quarterback for Jacksonville?
Oh, Trevor Lawrence. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you like 6 months from that shit. Yeah.
All right, let's do the next voicemail. I don't know if we actually answered that question. That's a tough one to do.
Yeah.
The guy was definitely looking for us to like start talking about all sorts of body parts.
Mm-hmm.
Creep.
I've got good calves. That's the.
I've noticed you do have good calves.
That's
Whose
the
ass?
redeeming
Whose
quality.
ass are we Who's got the fattest ass?
I've got a decent ass. I'm not gonna lie. I like my ass. I like my calves.
That's what they want to hear.
Besides that, not a lot going on.
And your hair. Your hair's good.
Yeah, hair's okay.
As
but
a
I
man
mean,
with terrible calves,
yeah, you do have.
you have good calves.
Thank you. You have weak calves, but
They're not weak. They're fast twitch.
I'll get you. We can go on the calf raise machine. I guarantee I could calf raise more than you.
Actually, I think I could calf raise more than you.
Bullshit. I don't think anybody's actually ever challenged somebody else to a calf raise off.
Just like
I think this would be the first. Yeah. We're total calf guys. It's calf day.
You know how many calf raises I did in my life? Totally.
How many, dog?
Way too many. Like putting my buddy on my shoulders doing calf raises because we thought it would work to grow our calves.
Did it?
Nope.
Did y'all was one of the ones buying PFT? You was one of the ones buying in the East Bay magazine them shoes with the springs on it. Is that you?
I have those shoes in this office right now. I bought them like a year and a half ago because I was trying to dunk again.
The calf
Again.
raises.
Asterisk on again.
The calf raises did give way better bounce though when you got in the gym.
Yeah.
After doing a bunch of calf raises.
All right, Mad Dog. What else we got?
Okay.
What's up, gang? This is Cody from Mitchell, South Dakota, home of the world's only corn palace. And on the last episode about JFK and Coley, you said that you think Dave's the only person that could beat Trump on stage. But Billy's buddy Joe Rogan just had Jocko Willink, an old Navy SEAL guy, on. I was wondering what you guys thought about Jocko, and if all you guys each could nominate one person to actually not run for president, but to just be appointed the president of the United States, who would you pick and why? So thanks, guys. Love the show.
Let me know if you didn't hear all that because I was kind of.
Yeah. I did listen.
I don't know who Jocko is.
Jocko
neither do I.
Willink is this absolutely insane Navy SEAL that just literally posts every morning at 4:30 his watch, 4:30 a.m. that he's up working out. The guy's an absolute psycho. He's honestly, I wouldn't make him president, not because
You hate the troops.
no, not because I hate the troops. He would be a great like. If he became the president, we'd all have to wake up at 4:30 a.m. and be like literally going way too hard.
Mm-hmm.
The country would be going balls to the wall, and that's just not a balance.
Yeah, I agree.
So who would you have be appointed president?
Yeah, everybody got to pick an appointed president.
Yeah, by the way, that wasn't my pick. I was more talking like realistic things that might happen in the world. That's what I think. But my pick would absolutely be Jaylen Brown. I don't care that he's not old enough yet. He's the correct choice.
He's the correct choice. I'm going to go with Cornel West. I think he's just one of the most brilliant minds around.
How old is he?
Cornell, I think he's around 50. He's around 50.
Okay.
But like he's like so if people don't know Cornel West, look him up. Like he's one of the rare people who like can talk to like conservatives and liberals and progressives all alike, and they leave that conversation like, what an enlightened human. Like I've never seen it before. Like it's weird. But he's fucking brilliant.
I think McConaughey. I feel like McConaughey would be a good president, just because no one's going to attack you if McConaughey is your president. You're just going to want to chill with him. All the other leaders, he would just be having a nonstop summit at the White House. They'd have bongo circles out in the Rose Garden. Just the world would be a much more chill place because everybody would just want to come visit McConaughey and hang out with him.
I'd go Rogan.
Yeah, we knew
Just like-
that. We knew that. That one was a given.
Why Rogan, man?
I just actually think he's down the middle on things. I mean, weed would be legal, all drugs would be decriminalized. You know, like there would be a net. I mean, disagree with some, like everyone disagrees with him on at least one thing. So
Mm-hmm.
That was curious.
But
Yeah.
it wouldn't matter because he'd be appointed, so he wouldn't have to run.
true.
So he's just a president.
Actually, if you just appoint them,
Oh boy.
It could be anyone. Like they don't have to have public favor.
I actually don't listen to enough Joe Rogan to make an informed decision on like how we'd run the country at all. But I do know that there are a lot of people that love to take a lot of stuff that he says way out of context and act like he's the worst person on the planet. I think he's just like a normal person who has a lot of blind spots, just like anybody else does. But because he has a massive audience, those get magnified a little bit. But he's objectively a great interviewer. He's able to get a lot of good stuff. I understand why he's so popular. He's interesting to listen to sometimes. Now, other times when he goes way off on his tangents about like the experimental technology that he's read an article about, that's when it gets pretty funny.
no, that's Alex Jones.
I know the difference. Well, sometimes he has Alex Jones on there. The funniest was I listened to Joe Rogan at the start of COVID. When he had some infectious disease experts on there that he was talking to kind of like get their baseline on it. And it was funny because he was getting a lot of great information out of him. But then at one point he locked in on the idea that maybe you can just kill COVID by going into a sauna for 30 minutes.
Every single person, no matter like back-to-back episodes, he'd have different ones on and he'd be like, saunas though, right? And everyone to a T would be like, no. Every single person would say no, and he'd be like, I'm gonna get, it's like going from mom to dad trying to get a yes. But he did that with like 20 different dads, and he never got that yes.
You can tell what he's really interested in at any given point because like he'll just harp on that and try to wedge it into any conversation. He was like, but wait, if you breathe in the air and the air in the sauna is 170 degrees, then it's going to kill all the COVID that's in the air. And they're like, well, no, because you're not actually breathing in air that's 170 degrees. Your lungs would give way if that were the case. Your body cools it down on its way in. He's like, nah, I'm going to call cap on that.
Hey, Billy, y'all talking at Billy's hero's cape.
He's not my hero. I just think that he's a little more like, I don't know. I mean, he's very like the guy. You can't put him in pigeonhole him on any like real political spectrum, besides using steroids. That's one thing he's guilty of.
Mm-hmm.
Very political issue, steroids.
Yeah.
Anybody else having appointee?
Congress
Big
split
T?
on that.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get my wish in 3 years.
I don't know. You think that he's going to go toe-to-toe with Trump? I don't think he wants to run against Trump.
I don't think Trump's going to run.
I think he will.
And if
Ooh,
he
I'll take
does,
that bet.
I think he might try to. I think the RNC will kind of not let that
I don't know if that's their call.
Yeah, Trump is basically the RNC at this point. And if it's DeSantis going against Trump, DeSantis' thing is he appeals to a lot of Trump supporters. He's modeled like a lot of the way that he does things after Donald Trump. But if you're going up against the real deal, it's not like you're going to be. It's not like going up against Ted Cruz, who you'll be able to bully off the stage.
Right.
You're going up against the guy that you try to emulate sometimes.
It's Tennessee hiring Jeremy Pruitt and trying to beat Alabama doing what Alabama does.
Yep. Good point. That's exactly right.
I will take that bet that Trump will run.
I think he's going to run. I don't think he becomes the nominee.
I think it depends on how many booster shots we have to take between now and 2024.
Who you think gonna beat him? You think Ron
DeSantis.
DeSantis is gonna beat Trump? That's in the end.
I also think
I don't even. I'll make it even bolder claim. I don't even think that they will have Republican.
Convention.
Yeah, I don't. Not a convention. What is it called?
Primary?
Primary. I don't think they're gonna have a Republican primary. If Trump announces he wins, I think everybody else bows out and just lets him have it. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, BT. I don't know that much about the GOP, but I cannot recall fuck the GOP. I cannot recall in any political party somebody who has had the staunch following that he has. Like the I don't want to say cult, like I don't want to disrespect.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean.
And so that kind of has infiltrated the GOP in general, right? And so I find it really hard to believe, because what you didn't go against, if you go against Trump at all, in their eyes, you're going against America. That's how he's kind of marketed himself, which is interesting to me. Is like, if you go against Trump, you're going against America. And so for a Republican to go against Trump is kind of like a death sentence. Like I don't see it happening.
You know what I think is actually has a chance of happening is Trump does go through the primary on the Republican side, and he runs against people who maybe somebody will beat him in Iowa, and then he'll be like, you know what, you cheated. Actually, I won in Iowa. And the person that beat him in Iowa will be somebody that defended him in the fraud allegations in the presidential election. So now they don't really have a leg to stand on. They'll end up giving Iowa to Donald Trump, and he'll like kind of cheat his way through a couple of states, end up winning the nomination, and then maybe beat Joe Biden like legitimately.
I hope Joe Biden don't run again. Oh my God!
I think
Did you hear the rumors today?
They're gonna have to drag this man out of a hospital to debate.
So Kamala's approval's at 28%. His is at like 40%, and they know that she can't win an election, and he probably isn't going to run again. So the rumor is,
I don't think he can physically run.
Hunter didn't.
Hang on, let me
Hunter
finish.
versus Don Jr.
The rumor is that they're going to try to nominate Kamala for the Supreme Court so that they have an excuse.
I don't buy it. That's that shit that comes up all the time. Like, it was going to be the same way, but it was going to be like Ted Cruz was going to get nominated so that he wouldn't run against Trump last time. That's like an Aaron Sorkin West Wing fantasy where people that know how to use the bureaucracy and take democracy very seriously do this type of like back channel stuff. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that.
I don't think it'll happen either.
If Biden does run again, he's probably going to get his ass kicked.
Okay,
if they held the election, and I understand they do it every 4 years for a reason. If they held it today, Trump versus Biden, oh man, it would be a bloodbath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, landslide. 100%
now,
landslide.
Here's a question: do you think, let's say you don't like Trump, what's worse, the possibility of Trump 2024 to 2028? Or just having Trump be done by 2024? He won, had 2 terms, and he's out. What do you think would be better?
I think the 2024 to 2028, because I feel like
is better than if he won 2 terms in a row.
Well, depending on what side of the spectrum you fall on.
How does that work? How does that work if he gets elected again? Can he then run for a 3rd term?
No, you can't run more than 2 terms. Doesn't matter if they're consecutive or not.
Doesn't matter.
Are you saying would it have been better for him to be president?
For him or for us?
No, just like if let's say you hate Trump, would you have rather just get Trump over with and him had one, or him win?
No, because I feel like him losing.
Knowing what you know now,
I feel like him losing in 2020 almost made him. I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is. Like it hurt his image. I feel like if it's making him go from like level 100 to like, oh well, he already lost to like Sleepy Joe or whatever. So it like.
I actually think it helps.
I think the broader point is this: I think this is a really good question too. But I think the broader point is, like, let's say, and I feel like this is a pretty bipartisan take too. Like, so let's say you're a fan of Trump, but let's say you don't fuck with Trump, right? I feel like you can agree, even Republicans that fuck with Trump or people that love Trump in general, they can agree that the political climate is leveling at the very least socially, right? To where you feel like we can kind of breathe a collective sigh of relief, because although say you like Trump policies or say you like the way Trump does things, the majority of honest faith actors will say, yeah, he probably says things a little brass and he's a little divisive, yada, yada, yada. But, he says it's in his gut, right? You'll agree that since Biden has been president, the collective calm politically has been a little bit more tame than it was with Trump. I think for 8 years in a row of that, like you're looking at like real civil unrest, I feel like.
No, but I feel like now it's much worse. Now that Biden's president, it's like they're not angry at Biden. They're angry at Fauci. They're angry at the polarization.
They were angry at Fauci.
Exactly. But my point is, do you feel like there was less civil unrest when Trump was president? That's what you're saying?
I think I know what Arian's saying. It's like almost like you get to take a breath as a nation, a pause.
Yeah.
And
Because regardless of what you feel about the policies, like it's objective that Trump was stoking a lot of the flames, like with his constant being in the public with his thoughts, right? At least with Biden, although I don't agree with a lot of the things that he's doing it in the background, right? So it's almost a normalized status quo in America, right? Whereas like I still don't agree, but at least it's not stoking like fires. He's not talking shit to NFL players. He's not saying this, calling people tiny, calling people stupid, calling people this. Where it's like you're a little free world, man. You just relax a little bit, dog, you know?
I would actually say that there is an argument that the media being stirred up, sort of the conscious of, NFL players, celebrities, the media being riled up is a lot better than like what we've been seeing on the ground in Biden's administration, be it protesting, national unrest, Kyle Rittenhouse shooting people. Like, think about that.
Wait, so what are you saying?
I'm just saying that there's.
He didn't shoot people during Biden's presidency.
that was a trial.
No, it was last summer.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
What year is
Do we
it?
need another?
It's 20. It's 20.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
No, but all.
I don't.
Would you say the unrest?
That was funny as hell, my G.
Wait, it's 2021, right?
Yeah, it's
And this is not an indictment for people who disagree with me politically. I promise. Like what I'm saying is, I feel like it's a more objective thing that the political climate is. Sure, there's always going to be people bickering as long as there's people in the room, right? But what I'm saying is, since Biden has been president, it at least gives media outlets to critique policies or to critique stories rather than having a story handed to them on a golden platter saying, talk about this 24/7. Does that make sense?
Part of me thinks it's worse in one regard, better, more better than worse, much like Mother Teresa, but worse because I don't think people are paying attention like they did. Like you had to pay attention before, because that guy could have done anything at any given moment that could have ended us all. And now this guy also still can, but people don't care I don't want to say care as much. They're just not, it doesn't feel as life or death every day, which is that breath you're talking about. Like we do get to take a step back, but I do feel like that lack of public collective and being informed is why we're talking about him probably winning in a landslide in 3 years. Like that's specifically why.
Wait, so
I think he's gonna run, and I think he's gonna win.
I got my
Definitely.
dates. For some reason, I thought 2020 was like passing the guard. For some reason, just like the
No, it's the
shooting was in
election.
2020.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So, but Biden became president.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another voicemail.
Oh, I was gonna nominate
Oh, yeah.
David Baker for president.
Yeah,
He would be awesome.
No,
he's not
100%.
doing a lot right now. Yeah.
6'9". He's a mammoth, and he has a law degree. He went to Pepperdine.
He would
He's legit,
bitch the shit out of Putin.
right?
You
That's
put
what I'm
him in a
saying.
room with Putin. Putin's,
Who's the I don't even know if what I'm going to say is a real thing. Vice governor, is that a thing?
Lieutenant governor.
Lieutenant governor. Thank you. I knew there was a word that was in my mind.
That's fire.
Vice governor. Yeah, the lieutenant governor. I believe that. And now this might not even be his title. Of Pennsylvania. I think PFT might be the only person who knows him talk. He looks like
Yeah.
a biker.
Yeah. The giant dude.
Yeah. He needs to be more public in my eyes. Like that's a guy I've put all my faith in.
Yeah,
The
he's
guys whose name I do not know and title I also do not know.
John,
That's what I'm talking about
John
with the not
John
being in
Fetterman.
Fetterman. Yeah.
He's a huge mass. He is like David Baker's size,
Yeah.
and he's not afraid to speak his mind either.
Big weed guy.
Huge weed guy, or just elect the hottest chick in the United States. How about that? That would, I think, most people could get behind. No offense to anyone out there that might think that this is a sexist remark, which it probably is. But if you have like a very attractive woman in the White House, I feel like most of the angrier elements in American society, which tend to be largely male, would probably just chill out for a second. You know, they'd be like, she makes some good points, even if you vehemently thought you were going to disagree with whatever she was going to say. It's always a softer blow when bad news is delivered to you from a very attractive individual.
Who's the lady with the whiteboard who's always just frying people up?
The lady with the whiteboard.
The press secretary?
No,
I don't know her job title.
She's out west somewhere, but she goes into these hearings with, she's just got a dry erase board.
Oh, Katie Porter.
Yeah. Her, I trust with my life. Implicit, like she comes with the facts. She's extremely prepared. She's very knowledgeable. I don't even know what her title is, what state she's from. Every time I see her, she's got someone squirming in a chair. Every time.
We got another voicemail?
Yep, one more.
Hey guys, I'm Allie from Orlando. I'm driving down to South Florida with my boyfriend right now, so we thought we'd call and ask a question. So my question is, if you had to live anywhere in the world except the United States of America, where would you live and why? Thanks guys. Everyone stay handsome. Arian.
I'll go first. I'd kill myself.
Did we have this question before?
I wouldn't do it.
Have we?
Yeah, then.
Oh, maybe.
It was a variation of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then we don't have to answer it, but.
That's a good question.
Well, the other one was like if the world was about to end, or if there was a post-apocalyptic world.
Where would you go?
Where would you start over?
If I had to live somewhere else.
The thing is, like,
I really liked Scotland when I went.
Scotland's nice.
You don't get sun for a lot of the year.
That's okay. I don't get sun a lot of the times here anyway.
Canada's
just the most like us.
I know, but it's not even good.
They don't have college football there.
Boom, Rose.
They do.
Canada.
In Canada?
They have a college football league, yeah.
Like,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, Regina.
Like actual college football?
I mean, it's obviously nowhere near what we're working with here, but like
we had a football guy from there, from
that's true.
St. Regina.
I remember when I was there.
Would
they
Tennessee
were
be
having their,
national champions?
Oh, easily. They were having their like national championship when I was there a couple years ago. It was like,
Bro, I'm really just banged on Canada, dog.
Dude, they're
That
like
is funny as
Kirkland.
hell.
Like, it's like Kirkland brand America.
Kirkland signature.
Kirkland brand didn't do anything to deserve this.
Yeah, Kirkland brand is awesome. I would say, I don't know, that's a good question. Something I've thought about before. Where else in the world would you want to live? I like Barcelona. Barcelona's a great place. It's like got a good mix of beach. I like being close to the ocean or the sea, and then it's got a lot of great food there. My only problem with Spain is they don't start partying until like 11 o'clock at night, and that's an issue.
But you're getting older.
I'm already.
You get naps. You get midday naps.
That's true. You get the siesta. That's kind of nice.
Is England that bad? I like London, but is England that bad to live in? With the monarchy?
England's never really done it for me. Again, I think that we should invade England.
trash.
Take
depends
advantage.
if you ever need a surgery or not.
That's
Their
true.
food is a little trash.
Yeah, I agree
England's
with
like
you on that one.
Like if Seattle was a country. Like I'm all set.
Yeah, I just got back from Seattle, by the way.
I love Seattle, dog. I went there right before Thanksgiving. I talked about it on the train and shit. That shit is fucking fire. And it was raining and shit, and that's my bag.
Of course
I
it
love
was.
rain.
That's what they do up there.
I love rain, dog.
They
love
get their
overcast.
Starbucks, they grab their umbrella, and then they kill themselves.
And
That's
bro,
what they do.
I was so I was
Drink
walking. I don't remember what street it was, but they have like fucking Starbucks Deluxe up there. I don't know what it is. It said Starbucks, but if you look inside, it's like
Starbucks.
it's like
The Reserve.
it's like the it's like here you go, Starbucks Reserve. It's like the Wonka of Starbucks, bro. That shit was amazing. It looked like it had a bar in there. I was
yeah,
like,
there's a full bar at those.
You know what's interesting
that shit was.
about Seattle right now is they're swinging. Everyone knows how like Seattle, Pacific Northwest, generally thought of as being very progressive, very liberal-leaning part of the country. They're swinging back towards the right when it comes to their city legislature because they're dealing with some like really bad homeless situations up there where there's just tent cities everywhere in the city. It's like when people talk about San Francisco and how bad it is, a lot of times that's overblown. Now, there are definitely parts of San Francisco that are not safe to be in right now. But overall, in my experiences in San Francisco, it's a pretty nice part of the country. Seattle has like literal tent cities that are being built and just like consistently there for the last several years. So the city is swinging back towards the right now. It's kind of interesting to see what's happening with their politics.
I didn't know that. I know Portland. Portland is really bad with the tents. From what I've been spending a lot of time up there this last couple of months. That shit's really bad with the homelessness.
Anybody else? Some movement? Where'd you move?
Oh, I would go to Bali, some random island. Just give me a little shack and just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, that's probably the right answer. Tropical island.
Yeah, but resources. You gotta make sure that you're close to.
Oh, they got really good hotels there.
Yeah, this isn't post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, this is just
current
Yeah,
world.
this is just regular.
I think about resources in the regular world too.
Like here? Do you
So-
think
You're
about
okay.
resources
So-
in New York City, Billy?
Yes.
So when you're
what
looking for
resources?
apartments, you think,
Yeah,
what
what's
water reserve am I
closest to the
buying?
water?
You're in a terrible spot if like society collapsed. You're in a terrible spot.
Yeah,
for reasons.
Hoboken's going first.
No, I'm close. It's easier to get out.
To where?
With all the
The
people around
ocean?
you.
Trust me, I've already planned it out.
Oh.
I know where the reservoir is.
Well, like what resources are you worried about in New York City?
I don't know. Well, like resources
Trees?
are classified differently. Like subway, like
Good.
more amenities, like location, like figuring out what's around you.
Right, but I don't think we have a lack of resources here.
Right, but that's like
But I guess that's why you live here.
yeah.
That guy, John Fetterman Coley, the guy from the Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania. I remember
boy.
now, he was the dude that he was, I think, just living in a shed. Even
Yeah.
while he was, like, it was right before he was elected lieutenant governor, but he was just spending, like, all his time helping people in his small rural community. Or, like, I don't know if it's totally rural. It's probably, like, right outside Philadelphia. But he was just spending, like, every penny that he had helping other people. What was that sound?
Think Nadu's here.
Just like,
He's got
whoa,
thrown
No,
through a wall.
I
Is that what you're-
I heard some yelling, and I was just like, if Rico's fighting with Nadu.
Oh, I thought you said the dude.
It sounded like a wall just exploded.
Yeah.
That'd be electric if he
Lock
got
the
thrown
door.
through. I'm not.
Arian,
It'd be very funny if he just got picked
Lock
up
the
and
door
thrown
just
through
in
a wall.
case.
Oh, it's when he was mayor. He was mayor of Braddock, and as he was actively serving as mayor of this place in Allegheny County, he was just like living in a shed, pretty much homeless, just like spending all his time trying to help every person in town individually that
Right.
needed help.
Because he was big during the election cycle, and I felt like everything I read about him at the time, he just seemed like a very genuinely good person. Now, obviously, he's a politician in modern America. It's hard to say who's genuinely good or not, but I feel like when people they've done one negative thing that gets written about 1,000 times, and I just haven't seen that with him.
All right, anybody else?
The Netherlands is where I'd go.
also terrible weather.
It's not England.
Too many bicycles in the Netherlands.
It's all flat. There's not a single hill in the Netherlands.
No, but I mean, not in terms of like how challenging it is to bike around the place. I mean, when I was there, I felt like I was in danger of getting hit by a bicycle at any given moment.
Oh yeah,
Never
I
feel
almost
safe
got
on the sidewalk.
Crushed. I almost got demolished by a motorized one because I was just looking down, reading something as I was walking, and I looked up at the last second.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost curtains, but I feel like that's something you get pretty used to after a while.
All right, we good?
I think that's it.
I'm going with northern Italy.
Okay.
That's a good one. Like, do you have a certain city?
No, I don't know why I said there. I've just always wanted to go. I like pasta.
Is crema in northern Italy?
Has anyone else felt that ever since we went to lockdown, the whole like time is just a blur?
Yes.
Hot take: do you think we're gonna go into another lockdown if Omicron gets bad?
No.
I don't know. There's not. I did a little bit of reading on the Omicron thing, and credit to whoever's coming up with the names for these different variants. I know that there's probably like a
It's
scientific.
the Greek alphabet.
Yeah, there's a scientific reason for how they're being labeled, but they always all the different variants sound to me like it's somebody that's naming a new season of the Blacklist, and they're like, the Blacklist, Omicron. You know, like something that sounds really kind of dark and
Stargate,
sinister. It just confuses me. But I did some research on the Omicron thing, and right now, as best as I can tell, nobody really knows if it's more contagious or less contagious, and no one really knows if it's more deadly or less deadly.
I mean,
so it's still like very much up in there. I think that the media saw the name Omicron and they're like, this is gonna get some clicks. Let's write a bunch of articles about it. But they're still doing a lot of research on it. It's probably not a good thing that it's being detected in so many countries and they're shutting down travel again. But I haven't seen anything that says that it's way worse.
it's going to be very interesting to see how this is viewed in 10 years, like our reaction to it. Just like, I mean, because this is a world event that I'm living through as a 20 to 22-year-old, and it's like the first one I'm really experiencing as sort of an adult. So like when I'm about 30, 35, they'll probably like see what was right, what was wrong. Whereas 9/11, I didn't really witness all the movings of it, but now we look back and say, okay, we shouldn't have done that. So it'll be interesting to see how this all works out in history.
Billy just had a live I'm growing up moment.
A little boy's growing up. All right,
This is also oh shit, my bad.
No, go ahead.
No, cut me the fuck off, dog.
I was just going to wrap things up. Mostly because I have to take a shit. But
I also want to see what the hell's going on outside.
Yeah, those are way more important. Honestly, we good. It was just to add on to what Billy was saying. You good?
All
I
right.
want to hear what you're saying.
Some of us have to poop, Billy.
Here, you can leave. No, here you go. Here
I was just gonna say, it's also an interesting part, because this is our first like real life experience with social media being as prevalent as it is, and so it's kind of like a beta test to how we're gonna handle future like tragedies, like all of this shit. Like it's a real live like look at it, and we've had things obviously with social media, but I feel like this is the first one where like the global economy was affected, so it's like a real a beta test for it.
All right, we'll see you guys on Thursday for Snackrodosing. Then we'll see you guys next Tuesday for another Macrodosing. We love you guys.